Bourbon and soda.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Is there anything else I can do for you, sir?
I suppose we'll find out, won't we? Miss.
Yes, Mr. Cooper.
You might want to take a look at that note. I have a bomb. I fail to see how this has any relevance or bearing.
Shh. This is the good part.
See you again someday. Brother, Heimdall, you better be ready.
We're not done. We're not done.
Welcome back to Saturday Night Live, and now, as a special treat on our first show, musical guest Andy Kaufman.
What's wrong with this guy?
This is dead air.
Mr. Trouble never hangs around when he hears this mighty sound. Here I come to save the day. That is the tiny house in town. If there is a wrong to right, Mighty Mouse will join the fight. On the sea or on the land, he gets the situation well in hand. So though we are in danger, we never despair, cause we know that where there's danger, he is there. On the land, on the sea, in the air, we're not working at all. We're just listening for his call. Here I come to save the day.
Woo! Babe, did you hear what I heard? Take yourself off mute.
Yes, I did.
What'd you hear?
Are you so excited?
I'm very excited. What'd you hear? Tell me what you heard
Okay, hold
before
on.
I say what I heard.
Go. Okay, thanks. That Shiloh didn't answer the DB Cooper question.
Shiloh was asked, it seems, numerous questions. Uh-oh. One of the kids is in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Which one was it? Was it Derek?
You even have to ask that question? I mean, honestly, don't say it out loud. You already know the answer to that question. Don't say it, but you already know the answer.
I love him. He was asked 40-ish to 50-ish to 20. I don't know how many questions. Seems like he was asked a bunch of questions.
30, I think.
30 is what the number was.
Spirit tells me 30.
Spirit tells you 30. Okay. He gave the instructions. Don't ask about the solve or the location, it seems. He didn't give them shit on that, right? But then K-Pro says, flat out, was he DB Cooper? Is he related to DB Cooper? And he doesn't answer the question. Now, to Davio, who just says, Shiloh just fucked with you because he can. Let's go over the context, Davio. Again, some people are still reeling from the fact that this is 9 Mile Hole, and we're not happy because we didn't have a 9 Mile Hole solve. So we have to accept that, right? Why would Shiloh, after everything we've heard throughout the end of the chase here, everything we've heard about how the family wants to move on, the family doesn't want any more attention, the family doesn't want this to keep going, the family wants this to end, and Shiloh wants to fuck with K-Pro and Cynthia and not answer the DB question? It's very simple to go, no, he's not DB Cooper. That's silly. That's stupid. I've heard that. It's dumb. Very easy.
Who wants to hear what I think?
What do you think, Boo?
I think that the first thing I thought was, if you don't get off the floor right now, you're not going to play any Fortnite tomorrow. Okay? The second thing I thought was exactly that. Is this not a family that has put up with a lot through this chase? The entire family. All right? K-Pro had to make her amends in Santa Fe after hiding in the back seat of a car. That's a sitch here. So why would anyone want to continue if Shiloh confirms that Fenn is DB or doesn't answer, leaving us wondering, what does that mean? That means that everyone will now be investigating Fenn continually and now trying to connect him to DB Cooper. So that's still people involved in the Fenn life. They're still around. They're still prodding. They're still poking. They're still looking for answers. So yes, why would Shiloh want that to continue? If I was getting the vibe that the whole thing, and maybe K-Pro, Cynthia, or you got echo on or something.
Yeah, I went to check the poll.
Maybe they could, did they get that? Like, why? That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And again, the poll, we have 50 votes, 49 votes. Is Fenn connected to HaHaHa by DB Cooper? And it's 61-39, even after being Shiloh going, like, what? I think people are genuinely afraid of this story. And the number one argument that I got was, how dare you, Ben? How dare you accuse a former Vietnam veteran of being associated in any way with DB Cooper? What would the family think of you? That's what I was told. Private messages, emails, in the chat, it doesn't matter. It came from all sorts of directions. Shiloh, grandson of Forrest Fenn, was asked the question point blank and was given the opportunity, as a family member who would be so mad at me saying this, he was given the opportunity and he didn't answer. And then what did he do, Ashley? He pointed out that he didn't answer it. If you don't accept that,
okay,
as
the only
kind of validation, you're crazy.
I find it interesting that it was pointed out. I find it curious. That's all I'm going to say.
Why would Shiloh point out that he didn't answer it? It's one thing to give a non-answer and poo-poo something and move on. Why would he point out that he didn't answer it? That sounds like a Forrest Fenn move to me.
The other thing that I wanted to point out too is that out of all, he answered every single question but that one. Correct, ladies? Answered. That's what I was understanding, right? From my
understanding, he answered everything but solve questions.
Yeah.
So no solve questions, no location questions, and then all of a sudden a DB Cooper question. Oh, I can't answer that. Oh, by the way, did you notice I couldn't answer that? Come on. At this point, you're just going, I don't want to think it's DB Cooper. I want nothing to do with it. I mean, that's what I think.
People are going to say that you're being trolled, and now it's going to be that Shiloh is trolling you.
If Shiloh is trolling,
yeah.
Sorry, Boo. You talk.
Go ahead. If Shiloh's trolling you, what?
If Shiloh is trolling me, then obviously this topic isn't that much of a concern to the family. So you can't come at me anymore, chat, Chase community, and say I'm insulting the family. If I was insulting the family, you would think Shiloh would go, no, he's not DB Cooper.
Okay.
Why didn't he do that?
I'd like to address people in the chat that are saying he couldn't answer because he wasn't alive then and he didn't know Shiloh wasn't born. Okay, let me address that question. All right, that's like saying Shiloh can't tell us where the chest was because he didn't hide it. He wasn't around when Fenn hid it. He didn't know when he hid it. So to say that he couldn't say, like, come on, let's be honest.
And then the argument back to you is, oh, well, Fenn told him where the chest was. That's how he would know. Well, then, duh, Fenn fucking told him he was DB Cooper, and that's why he can't say anything.
I mean, it's kind of like a natural progression as you age. I don't know about
it's not Fenn, Davio.
It's a natural progression as you age to talk to your family and share stories, especially as your family members, your grandparents age, they want to share about their lives as they get older and then they're reflecting. So to say that this, wouldn't have been shared or wouldn't have been talked about, or the chest, obviously all this stuff was talked about, especially towards the end, I would assume.
Here's my assumption, without anybody saying that they've talked to Shiloh or not. I've said this since day one. I would assume after the find happens and after the meeting happens between Fenn and Finder, then Fenn wants to tell the story. Davio, when you say it's Finn, again, have you read HaHaHa, Davio? Because I think if you read HaHaHa, you wouldn't think it's Finn anymore. I think you would actually, Davio, go, oh, shit, it is Finn. You, Davio, who I believe has a great mind and can extract abstract thoughts, I think if you read HaHaHa, you would go, okay, that was written by Fenn.
What is... Oh my God.
And yes, William says, lucky digger, he signed the plane ticket. We've looked into the writing of the signature of DB Cooper, Dan Cooper, and Fenn. They have identical R's. Identical R's. Myrala Champion blocked again. Interesting, considering I posted it right on the stream, blocked again. So you're not.
We see you.
The skeptics are concerned with the paid actor thing. I don't know about paid actor thing. Who's the paid actor?
Are we saying now Shiloh is? I mean, I don't understand.
Shiloh had the opportunity to say, no, he's not DB Cooper.
Here's my question. Why, I'd like to ask chat, why it is so upsetting to everyone to look into this or consider this as a possibility.
That's what I want to know.
Please answer me why you're just so, it's like the reaction is guttural that this cannot be possible. Please take me down why that is. I'd like to understand.
Can I give you a few arguments? Because I was probably in this camp when I first started. Because I was a DB Cooper fan before I got into the thrill of the chase. For sure. 100%. I knew about DB Cooper since
we're like 8.
Yeah, honestly, I saw like a rerun of like Unsolved Mysteries, and I saw a DB Cooper thing, and I was like, that's a cool MFer.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I hear them.
I got
it. I got this one. I got this one.
Okay.
I got this.
Good job.
Oh, they yelled for me.
I can't. Okay. Yes. So I'm curious. I think it's interesting who's mad. Maybe you're not mad, but I'm just saying, do you guys see all the laundry on my bed that I've been folding just recently? That's what my life looks like. I'm just thinking everyone is upset about it, that it can't be possible. You're just saying immediately, nope, absolutely not. There's no way. How do you know? You don't know who DB Cooper is, so you can't say who he is not. That's all I'm saying. Trust me on this, you guys. I'm not saying I'm 100% and I believe this and I enjoy that my boyfriend spends 27 hours a day researching this. I'm not saying that I'm like, oh, it has to be. Trust me, as Albert pointed out, I am, what did you say? Like the positive skeptic, or what did you, I don't remember how you said it, but that is me. So I'm just wondering.
We're good.
because he was an accomplished pilot and collector. He didn't need money. Okay, first of all, everyone needs money. Okay?
Wait, hold on.
That's
Everyone
it.
needs money. Sure.
And
Hold on.
he wasn't making that kind of money, the kind of money that he could then use to open up a gallery. Or even like property. That's not enough money. What he was making was not enough.
And okay, so Fenn states in a couple of different interviews and all the information we have that he was making somewhere between 10 and 12,000 a year. D.B. Cooper in HaHaHa, the book. Again, most of you have not read HaHaHa. And if you haven't read HaHaHa, then you can't really make a determination one way or the other. You certainly can't say it's not Fenn if you haven't read HaHaHa. But inside HaHaHa, what was the whole point of this? Sorry, I forgot.
I don't know, but are you trying to tell me that HaHaHa is required to know that Fenn is possibly D.B. Cooper?
Yes, 1,000%. If you have not read HaHaHa, you can't get to the finish line of thinking that it's Fenn. Again, this is the HaHaHa book that states, I got lost in the thrill of the chase.
Okay.
And now Shiloh is going, I don't want to talk about Come on! It's easy at this point. Sorry, babe. Hi, Alan.
Hi. Actually,
nice
great.
try.
Thank you. It's a clip on like a whatever sweater. Actually, great question. And actually, Ben is wrong. I mean, he's flat out wrong. Because you said, do you have to have HaHaHa? Do you have to have HaHaHa to think that Forrest Fenn was D.B. Cooper? No, because for many years, and I think it was in the chat, Mindy, Stephanie 30 Acre, they wrote books. They went on podcasts. Like there's other people, I'm not going to name names. All those people already thought Fenn might have been D.B. Cooper and wrote goddamn books on it, did podcasts. They did not have this book even then. Some of them did, but not Mindy and Stephanie. So my answer to that is no.
This actually makes me feel better, Alan. That was kind of the answer that I was actually really looking for. Because for me, for this to be real and true and possible and plausible, I need to be able to figure it out even without the book. I don't, and I don't know how much you're like, I'm starting to go into D.B. Cooper, groups and communities and stuff. And they know about HaHaHa from what I've read and experienced, but they're not saying that's like the smoking gun, or they believe that that was actually written by D.B. Cooper. So I like the idea that there are other ways that we can connect these two people without that book. I think the book is great and fantastic, but I like that you're telling me we can connect it in other ways.
I mean, definitely happened. And that's why I'm saying Ben's wrong. And sorry, Ben, I don't like to tell you you're wrong because I know you don't like that.
I do, Helen.
But you're wrong. You're flat out wrong because Mindy and Stephanie.
Can I rephrase?
Yes, you can rephrase anything.
No.
You cannot reach a point where you go, okay, holy fucking shit, without HaHaHa.
That
I think you can.
That might be true, but like I said, Stephanie and Mindy wrote a 400-page book on it.
Right, I agree.
But again, then when they or Stephanie or Mindy, whatever, when they found out about HaHaHa, then it was like, holy smokes! Then it's like. Then it became exponentially more for them.
Mike,
and maybe more Stephanie than Mindy. I don't talk to Mindy. I talk to Stephanie. So I'm sorry, Mindy, if I'm misspeaking. I'm not trying to do that.
Was HaHaHa ever investigated by the FBI? Mike, again, great question. I have myself, amongst a few others here quietly, we have been scouring through the FBI files. I'm about, at this point, 45% of the way through the files. Never once has HaHaHa been mentioned. And I think that's interesting.
I think I understand why. I think that a lot of people in this chat understand why. They're all saying, possibly what the FBI was saying. You can't really know that this is written by D.B. Cooper. This could be all coincidence. This is what they're saying.
I think the determination at this point where we're at with the evidence and now Shiloh not answering the question, I think Fenn is at the very least related to writing the book HaHaHa. I don't think HaHaHa was written in 83 either. I think HaHaHa is purported to be written in 83. I don't think it was. and I've said this to Alan, I've said this to you, Ashley, it's going to sound fucking nuts. Knucking futs. I understand what I'm about to say. In this book, and should I get the exact quote to just make it make sense? Hold on.
Always like exact quotes if
Yeah.
you're going to quote.
I'm going to scroll back, Alan, through our messages.
Uh-oh.
If you find it faster than me, great, because...
Well, I'm not sure what you're looking for. I mean, I have to... Yep.
I'm gonna post on our Treasure Warriors Instagram what I'm viewing right now behind my laptop of these cats. Like,
what was I looking for again? Shit, I already forgot.
You were looking for the exact quote in HaHaHa.
About?
I mean, you had some exact quote that you wanted to get.
I've had 4 concussions.
Locked up in your brain, man.
Huh?
It's locked up in your brain, whatever you were gonna say.
What was I looking up?
Literally a quote that was gonna be something that like would connect it. I don't.
This is what. Okay, so when I research, this happens to me all the fucking time. This is why I smoke weed. It actually helps me with my memory. I've had 4 concussions since 2015. My precise short-term, my very small short-term memory is gone. I have none. If we said something 20 seconds ago, I will not remember it. I will remember it 20 years from now, but I will not remember it 20 seconds later. So I've already forgot. I'm so gone from what I thought.
If you give me a keyword, I would know what you're talking about, but I didn't.
I have no idea what I was trying to do. I'm hoping the chat says something, but I have no idea.
But so Ashley, what you're saying is, yeah, do other people ever, like, besides HaHaHa, like, did that ever come up? Yes, it did. For not many decades, but definitely for like the past 7 years. I mean, people have been messaging me, and again, I'm not going to say names because I think they want it private, but they came out of like the woodworks, like all these people after the video I shared, like all these people came out, and I've already talked to Stephanie and Mindy for a year and a half. So like, that's one thing, but it's like, after I shared the video, then it was like, whoa, all these other people said, I've been looking at this for years, 7 years, 5 years, 10 years. So to your question, like HaHaHa is important, but there were people already looking at it, and that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Hey, Alan and Ashley, what do we think about this?
Well, I saw that.
April said it. Did you see Packer Jack's post on Calazar's?
Yes. Packer Jack comes up with the coolest stuff, I swear.
I don't know, Davi B. I could try though.
Like, I really want this photo to sink in. And at the same time, you're looking at this photo. Remember, Shiloh was offered the opportunity to end the D.B. Cooper conspiracy, and he chose the Fifth Amendment.
Could have said no.
Could have said no. Nope. Very simple. No, my grandfather is not D.B. Cooper. That's nonsense. He didn't do that.
Or he could have had a reaction like, okay, if someone, Alan, if you came to me and asked me, Ashley, was your grandpa D.B. Cooper? I would be like, okay, yeah, no, absolutely not. Yeah. Or even if I said no, even like that kind of reaction, right? I'm looking for a genuine reaction, blowing it off. This was different.
Very different.
William, was I looking for the quote that said "The thrill of the chase"? You know, the exact title of Fenn's book. Was that what I was trying to do?
That's what you're looking for.
Well,
when was the last printing of HaHaHa? I don't know. Alan,
how can Shiloh know Fenn wasn't DB? Ryan, great question.
Wasn't DB.
Let me give you a dissection of Forrest Fenn knowledge, Shiloh old knowledge, and why this non-answer is important. Fenn was told by searchers that they were writing a book on D.B. Cooper. Fenn encouraged them to write said book on D.B. Cooper. I have it from unconfirmed reports that Fenn sent said book written about D.B. Cooper to other searchers, important searchers who were close to him. And now Shiloh won't answer a D.B. Cooper question, but he'll answer anything else unless it's the solve. So he won't answer the solve, the location, or DB Cooper. Gee, it's not rocket science at this point, guys.
It's funny. Ben gets more aggressive than I do. It's a different approach.
Because it's nonsensical to just go, he's not DB. Have you read HaHaHa? No. Have you looked into DB Cooper?
Exactly.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then fuck you.
but no one has read it, and that's a fair thing to say. Is that unless
then
you
don't say he's not. Say I don't know. It's okay. Chase friends. Search your friends. Fenn fanatics. It is okay. I'm going to put this on full screen.
It's okay
it
to
is
not know.
Okay to say I don't know. I thought I knew, but I don't anymore. It's okay to say that.
Yeah, that's fair. I actually agree with that, and I love that because that opens up again imagination and doors. Because as soon as you say that's where doors close.
Steve M says, I think Shiloh responded that way to say no more conspiracy theories. Shannon and Capro both had different determinations on something they both heard. Interesting story part. I still say F equals DB. Here's what I'll say. If he wanted to say no more conspiracy theories, then he would have said, no, it's not fucking DB Cooper. There's no conspiracy. Done.
It's the easiest answer ever.
Easy. He didn't. He was given the opportunity to end this conspiracy, and he chose not to. He chose the Fifth Amendment, and then he pointed out that he didn't answer it. If you ignore that, that's at your peril.
And then he Shiloh commented on it after not responding to it. Like that's like the cute part of it, I guess, which is why is he playing? To your point, like you don't play around. If you want it all done, you don't play around. You don't.
This obviously invites conspiracies.
Of course, and that's why we're here.
Yes.
Literally.
Do you know what would have happened if Shiloh was just like, no? I would actually like to know, Ben, if Shiloh just was like, no, absolutely not. How would you feel? I'm just curious.
A part of me would wonder if Shiloh was saying that because he didn't know the truth. But then I'd get myself to the point where I'd go, well, he's adamant that it's a no. So then I'm basically at the point where either Shiloh is lying or he's telling the truth, right?
Yeah,
so he's either lying to cover up Dan Cooper is Fenn because there's lots of legalities, or he's saying no because it's just no. So the only logical reason to just say no is because it's a no. It's very easy. The non-answer is the equivalent of O.J. Simpson getting on the stand and going, Fifth Amendment.
Yep.
Come on.
I mean, it's really easy for him. Like the whole point of that whole interview is like, let's
clear the
cut
air.
off that. Yeah. Let's clear up everything, clear the air. So for him to answer this question in the way he did, very strange. And Shiloh, if you're watching this, very strange. But then now he's going to come up tomorrow and be like, Forrest Gump was not DB Cooper.
All Shiloh has to do tomorrow. All Shiloh, I think Shiloh might be watching. All Shiloh has to do is say, no, my grandfather was not for DB Cooper. He was not related to DB Cooper. He did not write HaHaHa. I don't know if he wrote HaHaHa, but he is not DB Cooper. That's all he has to say. How would he know that, Ben? How would he know that? How could you possibly think that he could know that? Well, then I throw the question back to you, naysayer. How could you know that Forrest Fenn isn't DB Cooper? Do you see how that all of a sudden fucks your brain? Yeah.
What are the repercussions, though? Are there any legally? I mean, you and I talked about this, Ben. Has the statute run out? Would that be a reason why someone wouldn't say, yes, my grandpa was DB Cooper, because that would mean then the FBI would get involved, and then that would mean
DB Cooper says DB Cooper says the statute of limitations ran out in 1976. I don't believe that in HaHaHa.
No, because they just recently quit looking, right?
Right. In 2016, that's when they stopped their investigation. But they still threw out if we learn anything, we can, we reserve the right to reopen.
It's like a John Doe. I forgot the phrase. It's a John Doe and absentee warrant, basically. So,
Alan, can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Yeah. To Ryan's comment, how do you feel about Shiloh saying he doesn't know anything about the book, especially when you purchased the book from Storytime by Shiloh or whatever that Amazon account was called?
Not getting into details, I'm dismissing the fact that I didn't buy it from Storytime by Shiloh. I bought it on Books. I'm going to dismiss that fact.
Yeah, we're throwing that one out.
Yeah, based on that, I'm going to throw that little fun fact out.
Yeah,
still doesn't matter.
Cool. It's cool, and it could be real, but we have nothing to base it on. Storytime by Shiloh, misspelled. No.
Yeah, I'm gonna eliminate that from my bank.
And K-Pro says this: Warriors, Alan, Ashley, related to DB Cooper. I am not convinced DB and Forrest Fenn are one, just related or associated. And that's I speak for myself. That's where I'm at.
No, you're not. You are a lying sack of shit right now.
He had 100% influence in HaHaHa. So we're left with he is either DB Cooper or Skippy was DB Cooper. Yep. That's where I'm at.
But also, who wrote the book? I think that's where Ben's more exactly. I think Ben's heart is more where mine is, which is the book. It feels like Fenn wrote the book. And again, like some people are like, well, what if he was inspired by DB Cooper? What if Skippy was DB Cooper? I'm okay with all of those things, but I still feel like Fenn wrote this goddamn book.
Yeah.
And I can't, my mind will not be changed by anyone that I know of on that note. But yes, people that say like, how do you know he's DB Cooper? I can't say that. But this book, it's too perfect. It's way too perfect.
You know, when he talks about the thrill of the chase and he uses certain phrases that really make you think of the book. Yeah, I get where you guys see that. I really do.
And it's not just hijacking a plane. Then he talks about, idyllic places by babbling brooks and like the place you want to spend, the rest of your time in. It's not just hijacking. It becomes like a romantic, it's a horrible word because if you read the book, it's not very romantic, but you see what I'm saying? It's not just a book about hijacking a plane and like destroying people's lives. It's like
you bring up another point too, that it's not just a book about hijacking planes. And maybe Ben, this is what you were going to find at the end of the book. Get the book and read the very ending, which you read to me. I think that's the quote you were looking for, possibly.
Oh,
is that it? Thank you.
Maybe.
I think that's what you were looking for. Read the very ending where it talks about.
I'm gonna read it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna read it. The last paragraph of HaHaHa. I'll do it like this.
I missed my book.
This is so weird.
Even though everything has worked out so well, something is missing in my life. I did a lot to get even with the system for what they did to me, and I rewarded those people who deserve to be rewarded. But there's surely more to it than all of this. I miss that thrill, I guess. That planning and carrying out something worthwhile and dangerous. Lately, I have been getting just a little bit restless, which has set me to thinking again. I wonder if I couldn't maybe ... space ... space ... space ... space ...
I know you like your dots.
Interesting.
The final Fenn statement given to Matt Smell the Sunshine had ... space ... space ... Now, that's nothing. But again, were those words not sounding like that of Forrest Fenn?
And sounding like the continuation of doing something else, right? For me, that I feel like that's the thrill of the chase. That's the treasure hunt.
It's exactly what I think as well.
Right?
Yep. Because he did what he did in that book, not only just hijacking a plane, but then hiding something. And that was in 1983. And then he said, he's getting restless. 5 years later, we know that he got cancer and then wrote The Thrill of the Chase, like literally 5 years later.
And we know DB Cooper sent letters to the FBI saying, "Oh, I'm sick now. I only have X amount of months to live."
If that's him, but yes, understood.
Right. but still, the character of DB Cooper said, "I'm gonna die soon," and then the character of Forrest Fenn, while writing The Thrill of the Chase, was gonna die soon.
Yep.
Again, it's one more tiny little piece, but again, Shiloh had the opportunity to end this and didn't.
Yep.
Why? Why did Forrest Fenn tell us 328 missions in Vietnam when we have an interview that says 305? His final flight number was 305. Those are his words. My final flight number was 305. Oh, the same 305 that DB Cooper hijacked? I lost 22 pounds and didn't know it. Oh, the same 22 pounds that the cash weighed? Oh, the same 22 pounds that I guess the chest weighed? Got it.
Same 22 pounds that DB Cooper and HaHaHa said he lost.
DB Cooper lost 22 pounds and HaHaHa. Gee, I wonder if the two are connected. Some random treasure hunting some random person who puts a book out and says, I put out a treasure and here's 7 clues.
Yep.
Come on.
Yep.
Now all of it's the same thing.
Yep. And what's difficult here, and sorry, I know Ashley, you want to say something, but what's bugging me, and not bugging me, but like I feel like we're doing the same thing that like Shannon and K-Pro kind of are doing, and K-Pro's probably in chat, maybe Shannon's too. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying like I wish you guys had the book. Like I wish you guys can all read the book from beginning to end, and then it wouldn't be like I'm just telling you so. I'm telling you I know something, and that's it. But there's nothing secretive here. Like if I could get you the book, I would hand you the darn book.
Right. If you read the book, you would agree.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the people that have read the book are on the same side as us. Yeah. Like almost all.
I don't have one. Not one person in the chase who has read the book has said no.
Yeah, it's opposite.
Not one. Every single person who I've talked to privately who has read the book has gone, yeah, there's something to this.
Yep.
And the DB Cooper enthusiasts aren't saying that obviously HaHaHa is connected, but that's because they haven't researched Fenn like this community has.
And even the DB Cooper researchers, most of them don't even have the book. Like they get the other ones like Skyjack and all the other ones.
You know what's interesting too is most of those DB Cooper enthusiasts, they don't actually have someone that they think DB Cooper was. They think he is just still a rando that's at large. So it's not even like we are arguing against some other theory that has something behind it. There really is no other theory of another person. From what I've researched, it's kind of all been debunked. What do you think, Alan?
Totally agree. And that's where probably in the chat, and every time I talk about DB Cooper, the chat comes up. It's like Kenneth Christensen or Robert Rackstraw or whatever. Like I see those, but those have all been eliminated. Mm-hmm. Like no one has ever really, except for again, Mindy and Stephanie and like maybe a very small handful of other people looked at Forrest Fenn. I don't even think he was on anyone's radar.
Yeah.
I mean, I've thought the same thing. Like, what if I just go rob my local bank? I'm not going to be printed. Like, I'm not going to be on their top suspect list. Like, it's almost a perfect crime because no one would ever suspect me of robbing a bank. That wouldn't even make sense.
Right. Exactly.
It's like you don't go after the people that might rob banks. Like, it was the perfect crime. He wasn't caught. This is 50 years later.
Isn't that incredible?
It's awesome. But that's why this is I call it the warmest, fuzziest rabbit hole, because we're either going to solve it or we're going to stay here forever. Either one. It's not like it's going to get solved before us. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Yeah, I think we have the best shot.
Like next year, someone's not going to be like, "Oh, I solved it." I know who DB Cooper is. That's not happening.
Exactly. They've been looking for years, Alan, and they have nothing. Yeah. We have people that are dedicating their lives to this, much like my boyfriend, and they have nothing.
I have nothing?
No.
I have nothing.
Boo.
Sound like he said I had nothing.
There was a question about my thoughts on the memoir in the olive jar that the family has a copy of. Okay, yes, we know the family has a copy. I mean, are you just doing it to bug me? Seriously, you're just like moving the headphones on the towel floor to irritate me.
I do have a comment because I think I misspoke in chat where It was on K-Pro's show though, where didn't Forrest say like, no one in my family knows about the autobiography? Didn't he say that in the Once Upon a While interview?
We played the
Exactly.
interview with Shiloh himself.
Yep.
And Doug Preston, where he goes, no one's seen it.
I was trying to find it, and I have it pulled up, but I'm just not going to do it. But that was my comment, where when people say like, "Oh, Shiloh and the whole family has autobiography," I'm not sure they do.
Al, let me ask you a question.
Yep.
Let's pretend Shiloh saw the autobiography. Let's pretend
the whole thing.
And let's pretend the DB Cooper admission is in said autobiography, but he doesn't want to say so. Wouldn't he just say the autobiography is nothing?
Yeah, I guess. But then
by itself, it sounds like desperation from my end. But then when I add it with, okay, is Fenn DB Cooper? Not answering that one. Hey, did you notice I didn't answer that?
That's weird. And like I said, Thrill of the Chase is not an autobiography. So whatever's in the autobiography, none of us have read. And then some people will say like, oh, it's maybe ramblings and rumblings. No, those are ramblings and rumblings. Those are not an autobiography. So show me his autobiography, and I guarantee you most people here would love to see that autobiography. Where is it? They act like it's just like, oh no, everyone's seen it. Like we've all seen it. Not true. So where is it?
Dave Crump says, F quotes from K-Pro interview. It's important to the story.
It's significant, I think.
Shiloh was playing. So again, Shiloh was deciding to answer all questions. He won't talk about the solve. He could play with the solve, Davio. He could say, oh, it could be. He could play with that solve, but he doesn't. He just goes, no, I'm not going to talk about it. And then they ask about DB Cooper, and he goes, I'm not going to talk about it. Oh, by the way, I didn't talk about it. If you think that's playing, fine. But then that goes counter to anything Shiloh has said about wanting to end this bullshit.
Yep. Is it just on my screen where it looks like there's like fireflies over my head?
I thought that the entire time. I thought you had bugs. You know who you remind me of? The character from Peanuts. You remind me of the little dirty
little Linus. I'm a little dirty kid.
I thought you were Linus.
I don't even know what that is. Like obviously, I'm in my kitchen. There's no bugs. Like
Davio, it's very easy to say people are gullible, man.
I kind of like it.
I mean, we were told, F you, Ben and Alan, you have nothing. And now Shiloh won't answer about DB Cooper related to Forrest Fenn. And it's just Shiloh playing and we're gullible now?
Yep.
Come on,
gullible.
And the other thing is, see the goalposts you're moving?
Yep. The other thing is I keep saying these are two different arguments. One is the nine, like, where did Jack find the chest? That's one conversation.
Right. That's its own thing.
Then it's the Forrest Fenn story conversation. In my mind, in my brain, they might be connected. Don't know, because maybe the olive jar, but otherwise, nope. Much bigger story in my mind.
Agreed.
And
Alan K might be a side effect of Ben's green screen background. Has anyone asked Douglas Preston? That'd be a great question for Doug Preston. He hasn't talked, allegedly, and we know that his latest book involves DB Cooper. So Doug Preston talks through his books.
I did send him an email before his book went live, knowing his book was going live, and he did not reply to me. And it was just like, hey, you're awesome. I have most of your books. I saw your new one was coming out. The intro is DB Cooper. What was your inspiration besides just DB Cooper? Like, no response. So. And
Treasure Hunter, Google Richard Floyd McCoy Jr. perpetrated the identical. Yeah. We've read all the FBI files. Have you? They dismissed him as a suspect. They
copycatter too.
Investigated, dismissed. He's not the real McCoy.
And he was caught and shot dead. Like
lots of false perpetrators wanting to be DB Cooper.
Well, that's for key too. A lot of people that have come out and said, yeah, that was my family member. Like they want to have that recognition.
And every time they have a documentary crew with them. Oh, yeah, no. My brother's uncle told me that he was DB Cooper, so we believe he's DB Cooper. Let's do a documentary film about it. Anybody who gave a deathbed confession or said, "Oh, no, I'm DB Cooper," is full of shit.
David makes a good point.
You're full of shit.
David makes a point that, and I don't know how accurate this is, but all of the people who claim to be DB were largely financial failures and lonely old men.
Yep.
What a surprise. They
You know,
all
if you
were.
really were DB and you stole that money, I mean, would you really be in financial ruin at this point?
No.
William
All
asked.
of that trouble. I mean, I would, because
William asked, Doug Preston wrote the Codex. Any relation to DB Cooper in the book? No, but I would say in the Codex, the whole point of the Codex was it wasn't about the treasure hunt. The whole point of the Codex was to understand the story behind the treasure hunt by working together once you knew all the facts. That was the point of the Codex.
Working together, keywords there.
That's what we're doing now. I mean, if some of you don't want to believe he's DB Cooper, that's fine. You don't have to. No one's telling you to believe it. But when you say, no, he's not, it's nonsense. Okay. Enjoy your life of ignorance and digging your head into the sand.
Do they have DNA? Because I know they don't have anything, right?
We have rumors that the FBI has DNA or that rumors of the FBI has something hidden back. Right, Alan?
It would be only the tie. So the bourbon glass was disposed with the drink cart, obviously, apparently in the 70s. The cigarette butts were disposed of. And in the 70s, I don't think they scrubbed for DNA. But this is out of my jurisdiction. So like someone else from the military could maybe jump in here. But no, they wouldn't just be able to quickly match like fingerprints and say like that's Forrest Fenn or it's not Forrest Fenn. That part does not happen.
All I know is Forrest Fenn provided DNA in the olive jar. So interesting. Adventures for the Curious says Stephanie and I were raked over the coals for suggesting FF.
Not my coals, Mindy.
Not us. But yes, you were. Yes, you were.
Yep.
A lot of people who ever even uttered the mention that DB and Forrest are related in any kind of way, you would get lambasted out of the room.
I mean, that's kind of how it is, though, guys. I mean, that's just kind of, especially when you're the first one and you're ahead of everybody and you're kind of by yourself and believing something. That's just how it is. It doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Yeah, but that's where I appreciate Stephanie and Mindy. And like, honestly, if it wasn't for them and like me watching that podcast that they did, whatever, 2 years ago, I would have never kept going down the rabbit hole, at all. So like, I will only pay respect to Stephanie and Mindy. I keep saying you guys paved the road. I don't know if that's the right phrase, but then there's other people too. There's dozens of people out there that think it's possible, and that's the fun part.
Shiloh didn't answer because he shouldn't have to answer a question like that. Maybe that's how you should take it. Again, Brian, he said he didn't answer and then pointed out that he didn't answer. So if it was really that offensive, see how your argument just dissipates within seconds of scrutiny?
And they said that he was kind of like laughing about it. Like it was funny to him. It wasn't like offensive.
If anyone's kind of being offensive now, go talk to Shiloh.
I think Cynthia said the words "ha-ha." I think he said "ha-ha."
Ha. If you are 100% certain that Forrest Fenn wasn't Dan Cooper without any proof, please send your thoughts to Ben Napple at P.O. Box 687 West Yellowstone, Montana. Exactly.
That's awesome.
Again, some of you people don't even fucking realize HaHaHa shares the same P.O. Box as the dude in West Yellowstone. And now Shiloh is saying he doesn't want to talk about DB Cooper because, oh, by the way, I didn't talk about DB Cooper. Again, if you don't want to take this topic seriously, that's fine. Leave his family alone. Leave his family alone. If Shiloh wanted us to leave him alone, he would have said, no, Forrest isn't DB Cooper. You fucking retard. There you go. I quoted Forrest Fenn. He called Willie a retard. Okay. I'm saying retard. I can do it.
Okay. Well, let's not say that we didn't, okay?
Nonsense.
I've never once contacted his family, besides Forrest Fenn.
Neither have I.
So, and Forrest
Well, you
Fenn
just said
replied to me and
people-
said, I love what you do, Alan. So if Forrest Fenn
The
told me he loves what I do, I'm going to keep doing what I do.
Let's just ask Shiloh right now.
Shiloh was asked, and he declined the answer. He could have said no. He took the fifth.
Exactly. It's brilliant.
Gotta change. You see, like the whole YouTube here.
And why are
To say we're attacking the family is such ridiculous bullshit.
I love the family. I don't know them, but
What if the family wants us to come out, you guys, and they can't do it themselves because that implicates them? And that means if they come out and say, yeah, we knew that Grandpa was D.B. Cooper, but they held that in, they're in big trouble. So they need somebody else like us and Alan to figure it out. And then they're like, oh, we didn't know. How could we know? He never told us. We had no idea.
That makes all the sense in the world. But if you say it was 9 Mile, you're full of shit. I haven't heard the family complain once about anybody describing as Fenn as related to D.B. Cooper. Fenn himself was given the context of the topic and encouraged searchers to write about it. So don't tell me the family is mad. You're full of shit. You don't know jack shit. You haven't talked to the family once.
That's probably true.
And I'll say it like it is. I don't care if it offends people. I don't give a fucking shit what people think about me. I live my life very grand, very high and mighty, and very full of myself. If you can prove me wrong, great. I'll take it. But you can't.
I mean, that's technically true. And that's what I was waiting for the past year and a half.
Shiloh could have proven me wrong. Shiloh could have proven us both wrong in 2 seconds. No,
but even
that's how simple it was.
But even if he said no, it's the same thing as him saying yes. It's take it.
If he said no,
it would have carried more weight. It would have carried more weight if he just said like no, that's ridiculous.
I would have backed off a no. I would have still wondered if he was lying, but I certainly would not have been as vocal about it.
Yeah. I mean, he could have literally just said like that's ridiculous. Even a very straightforward answer. But he didn't, and then he followed it up with whatever that. Did you notice I didn't answer that one? Like what? Why do you have to add that little sprinkle, like that little carrot?
That's what I wonder about too. And you know what I think? I think that I don't know, you guys. I never met Fenn. I don't know. I came into this after it was already found because Ben drugged me in here through mind manipulation by putting Calazars on while I was sleeping. But I will say this. What shit? Fuck, that was so good. What I was saying, I forgot what I was gonna say. Dang it! What are you guys talking about? Dang it! You're not right for it.
Just like me, boo.
I think you said. I thought you said Ben drugged me in here, but I didn't know if it meant drugged or drug.
Can I apologize for saying retard? I don't know.
Please, thank you.
It's a bad word.
Apologize. It's not okay.
Yeah.
It's not.
Can I apologize in a legit way?
Please.
There's nobody asking me for an apology right now. I'm just like, I feel bad. I'm sorry for saying that. That's all.
All right. I have mosquitoes flying over my head still. I don't even understand.
You do?
I've never seen it. I've never seen it before. I don't even there's literally nothing in here. Except my dog.
Doesn't it look like he has a
look, it's not even anything. There's nothing here.
Go to the kitchen. Go walk behind the counter. I just want to see
what happens.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
There's more.
The birds. It's Alfred Hitchcock. The birds out.
That's funny, dude. Oh shit.
Was I in the bugs?
Treasure Hunter's dog Willie was offended, so I truly do apologize to Willie.
I think I was going to say something about how Fenn talked or sounded, and I don't know what it was. Something. I remembered it. Okay, so Fenn answered things in a certain way, right? He's a little bit of a trickster. He's a little bit this. I feel like Fenn, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys. I feel like Fenn possibly would have not answered that question, but maybe would have not pointed out that he didn't answer the question. He would have just not answered. He would have just done what Shiloh did, and he would have moved on. And that's a Fenn move. Am I right in assuming that that's how Fenn would have handled it?
Yes.
My next, okay, thank you for validating me. My next thing is the fact that Shiloh drew attention to the fact that he didn't answer. That's a Shiloh thing to do.
Yes.
And now, guys, guess what? We're all on a level playing fields now because you all might know everything about Fenn, but now we're dealing with Shiloh. A little bit different.
Oh, fuck. Babe, hold on. I haven't even fucking thought of this. Are you saying we don't have a new chase or anything, but maybe, oh, God damn it. I screwed up. But maybe we have the new Forrest Fenn taking the reins. Is that fair?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of both.
But why? There's no treasure chest. Why take the rings?
The feeling that I get is, again, then just going off my own feeling and opinion, but the feeling that I get is, imagine being Shiloh and growing up in this and growing up with this as a grandpa. Okay.
Yeah.
I know how I am with my grandparents. I know how I am with my dad and my mom. So imagine growing up with this and hearing stories and then getting to the age where now you can kind of be involved in this and be part of the legacy. Like, I know that when I vote, at a tribal meeting, I speak, I like to know that my name is in the record of history. Like, for all eternity, if I get up to the mic and I say something, it's Ashley Powers said this, and I'm a part of history. So I think that maybe Shiloh, as the grandson, he gets to be a little bit a part of history in his own family and in the world by taking on this role. It's just my thought.
I like that, and I think it makes it more noble than just like our ridiculousness, interrogating him. I like that.
His grandpa, honoring his legacy.
Yep.
Fenn was all about his legacy living on. Why would we not think that someone very close, that there would be one person in his family? And again, I don't know a lot, but it seems like Shiloh is that one person, and maybe they had a strong connection. Maybe they bonded over this. Maybe this is like his thing, and he's taking over the reins for his grandpa. Again, all of my own opinion. I can't tell you guys this is fact at all. It's just Ashley Powers' head, but putting it out there.
Hey, JK, can I butt in for a second? Only because you reminded me. Forrest Fenn's grandfather died in 1930, the same year he was born. Do you know the name of Forrest Fenn's grandfather who died in 1930? Emmett. Do you know Emmett's occupation in the 1800s or in early 1900s? Blacksmith. Emmett Brown.
Shoot me in the face right now.
I know. I love that. I love the Doc Brown solve so much. And it's 9 Mile. Doc Brown solve is 9 Mile. So
Ben told me earlier today, he said, Alan, give up on your Lamar solve.
And I think you just
I'm like, Ben, give up on your Back to the Future solve.
That's it.
I fucking said that to him today. I literally said, Alan, give up on your Lamar Valley solve.
Please give up on your BTTF solve, please.
The BTTF solve is solid. It is solid. 9 Mile Hole, home of Doc Brown, past, present, and future tenses, heavy loads. Oh, this is heavy. There's all sorts of Back to the Future.
So I'm gonna hide a treasure, okay? And the whole theme of my treasure hunt is gonna be Gossip Girl. So in order to understand my hunt, you have to watch Gossip Girl because I love Blake Lively. Okay, that's exactly what you're saying to me right now.
Well, then I'm never gonna solve your Gossip Girl treasure hunt
because you couldn't. You couldn't even crack it if you.
You know what?
Make it so incredibly opposite of what you would think it was, so you could never figure it out.
Why don't you hide a treasure and don't tell me where it is?
I have a treasure hidden every day. It's up to you to find
it. Alan, what's up, Alan?
Sorry, Alan. Sorry.
I
thought you were here. It's just like,
My kids hide treasures in their diapers every day for me. And I find them.
There it is. There it is. I'm so excited right now. Do you know? I want to know what Shannon and Cynthia really thought of Shiloh not answering the DB Cooper question. They kind of grazed it, but they didn't really cover it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, since you brought that up, thank you for bringing us back to Earth. Semi. One, I don't think Shannon is as interested at all. I think she's open-minded. So, bless her heart. The fact that Cynthia said it's possible, that's a big deal to me. Like K-Pro is already like wavering, but K-Pro is interested in stuff like this. Like she likes Cynthia's not. So the fact that Cynthia was like quasi interested, that was interesting to me. So I thought that was semi-important, but again, like people could care less, It's like,
hey, give me 1 minute. I'm gonna make a phone call.
And maybe I should look at the chat because I'm sure people are just
sorry,
shitting all of this.
You'll solve it. Candy will solve my treasure hunt. It's gonna have something to do with hair extensions and Botox, so she'll be like over there. Oh gosh. You've okay. How long have you been researching this? How long? I'd like to get a little context here.
June 2020.
Oh, okay. And
literally right after the chase ended.
On one thing, like Back to the Future. Are you open to other ideas, or it's just Fenn for you right now? Are you just eliminating all the other ones as well?
Oh, sorry. You cut out for a second when you were. Are you asking me about suspects, or you're asking me about solves?
Only Fenn that you're investigating, or as you're doing this, are you still looking at the other things that the FBI has brought up, or other people?
No. I mean, of course I am. Like I'm watching all the documentaries and I'm noting things that were eliminated for the other suspects for various reasons. And so that's why I really like the Forrest Fenn thing, because I don't think it's been researched hard enough, like really, really hard by anyone. And maybe it doesn't warrant it. But to me, like he's not eliminated. Like based on the way that they eliminated other people, I don't think they could have eliminated Forrest Fenn in the same way. And that's why it's fun to me. If that makes sense.
I love it.
And I shut off the flies flying around my head. But now it's just dark. It's in pitch black.
K-Pro, Shannon, and Cynthia say they were candid about what they know. Shannon at 1522 said K-Pro likely all didn't know the 9 clues and the exact spot unless you found out something after I left. I don't know what that means. Hold on.
Holding.
So I think we're going to get some more context here. Would we like more context? Because I would.
I love context. It's the only way to live.
Too, so.
Okay. Well, I think, Ben, you have an opinion on Lucky Digger's comment. Does anyone seriously think that the government didn't know who made that jump?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the government doesn't tell us everything, guys.
Yeah.
And Lucky, there's a reason why. There truly is a reason why. Fenn, in my opinion, was CIA. CIA and the FBI had a long-standing rivalry, if you will. And within that rivalry, you can get a lot of things covered up. So did the government know? I think yes. I think that's part of the basis of HaHaHa. Is that Forrest sat in a room one day with Donald Rumsfeld and they each had a cocktail and they laughed about it. That's my opinion. K-Pro, what's up?
He also wrote a book with John Ehrlichman, who was part of Watergate, and they wrote a couple copies and they burned all of them but one.
John Ehrlichman? You mean the same John Ehrlichman that Fenn made a scrapbook about related to Nixon?
Exactly. And the book was so illegal that they had to burn all of the copies per Forrest's lawyer. Like, no, he's not a skate. He doesn't do anything wrong. Forrest has never done anything wrong.
Interesting. Interesting. K-Pro.
Hey.
Tell
I didn't
me.
mean to say no to you, Alan, but I was like, what am I going to contribute? We kind of said it, but then there's been like, what did he look? Did he look away? Did he do? And so
Yes.
I thought if you wanted a little bit of context on that little bit, I'm trying to.
Would love it.
Yes. My first question. What was Shiloh's demeanor 15 seconds before the question and 15 seconds after the question?
Okay, so totally my opinion, and I think we could probably get some opinions from Cynthia because she was really intrigued. I will tell you that I think that Shannon was like, he was messing with you guys, and it was nothing. Cynthia, the most dry, non-conspiracy person, was like, I know, Shiloh, there's something more to this. So she actually thought the person that camped at Hyde Park and was sitting back with Shiloh in that picture felt there was something a little bit more. So when I asked the question, there was probably 20, 25 questions that I had asked. This was towards the latter. I would say, I don't know, 18, 15, 18, somewhere in there. And he had answered every single question up to that point. He is delightful. He was like his grandfather. He was smiling, laughing. The only tenseness was when we had that very early on before question 1 where he talked about the intervention and that sort of thing. So he then said, so when I asked the question, it was when we were going back and forth, almost like Forrest and I had in the interview. It was back and forth. When he asked the question, or when I asked the question, he kind of answered it like all the others. There wasn't a tenseness. There wasn't a shock, or there wasn't a, who's DB Cooper? Where did that come from? Or what I was expecting was a, what? Like, okay, crazy searcher. And he was
Exactly.
already okay with calling me crazy a couple of times. So yeah, keep going. Alan, what do you think?
No, no, and I don't want to interrupt because I want you to keep rolling. But that's the point. And if you ask a question to someone like Shiloh, it's a very easy answer to say no, and it's a very quick answer if it has nothing to do with anything you're thinking.
Hey, Alan.
Yeah. Yes.
Ask me if my dad was DB Cooper.
Is your dad DB Cooper?
No, he wasn't.
Yep.
Well, I felt like if I asked Shiloh, did your grandfather shoot JFK? He'd be like, is your dad DB Cooper or granddad DB Cooper? I
Right.
felt like I would have gotten something like there wasn't a pause in his step. And then I actually find this more intriguing than his answer. When he said, DB has an interesting story. One that makes me realize he knew the DB story.
Yes.
And that makes sense because of Stephanie's book. So I was like, okay. But then when he paused, and right after he paused, there was probably 2, 3, 4 seconds, he turned and said, did you notice I didn't answer that question? Now, this is the same man that 15 questions ago said, I'll answer any of your questions. And he had answered some pretty, I think, other than 9 Mile Hole, and I remembered it as Homa Brown, but DB, one of the other, that was the only question. That was the first one I asked, and he said no 9 clues and no hints, or no 9 clues and no final spot. He answered every other question. And when he specifically pointed out, and I didn't answer that question, like, did you notice? In case you missed it, I didn't answer that question, but I answered all the other ones. That's how I felt like if he wanted to make a paragraph out of what he just said, that's what he said.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you feel? I didn't know this, but you just said that Forrest gave you HaHaHa?
No, Forrest gave me Stephanie's book.
Stephanie's book about DB.
Yeah. And I had it forever. I never read it, but I actually forwarded it to Alan because I was like, he encouraged me to read it. And I don't remember the exact words, like, oh, it's interesting read or something. And I thought, wouldn't it be clever if Forrest put like some difference in the actual published book that Stephanie had versus this. So I asked Alan, can you do a comparison? Here's the book. Do you want to do a comparison? And we said that the other night, and Stephanie was surprised that he did that. So he was giving it to searchers, and Alan did a comparison and said they were exactly the same. So
that's a great comment that most people don't know. And maybe you said it before, but I'm going to say it again out loud. Forrest Fenn forwarded Stephanie 30 Acres' book about D.B. Cooper to K-Pro. And K-Pro and Stephanie aren't bestest of friendses. And I think that's important as well. So Forrest is just like pushing out a book that
Alan,
doesn't.
Alan, if I can interject, I'm sorry, but I have to interject here.
Go ahead, please do, because I'll shut up.
There's so much drama in this chase that to know that K-Pro or Stephanie or whoever aren't getting along, it's not up to us as the rest of us. It's up to K-Pro. It's up to Stephanie. It's up to Fenn if he's bringing it up, but it's not up to us. Yet it happened. Yet it's context. Yet it's important to the way the story is unfolding. Forrest Fenn isn't just submitting a story to K-Pro that Mike wrote and said, hey, read this. This is pretty good. You might like this guy. Have a beer with it. He didn't do that. It was somebody that between two people, they weren't seeing eye to eye or getting along, and Forrest Fenn is putting that book in front of their face. Now, we don't know the means or methods or causes behind that, but we do know that Forrest Fenn 100% was offered the opportunity to go, D.B. Cooper, don't associate me with him. Don't let my family think I was him. Don't talk about that. He didn't do that. He said, good, write a book about it. And then now, 5, 6, 7, 8 years later, his grandson is offered the opportunity to say, is your grandfather Forrest or D.B. Cooper or not? Not is he even related. It was, is he D.B. Cooper? And his answer is no answer. Oh, by the way, did you notice no answer?
And going back to just my opinion of Shiloh seemingly being the point person to this now that Fenn has moved on. It seems like that. So if Fenn was giving out books, specific ones, do we not think that Shiloh knew about this? And
well, there's a couple of things. I'm going to give my opinion here.
Okay.
There's a couple things. Zoe is definitely the point person on all things for the estate. I think during our meeting with Shiloh, Shiloh definitely let us know. I think he has, and I don't know what the right term is, an admiration, an appreciation, an understanding of the community. So like when he was like, we did the San Lazaro auction items, we specifically targeted a lot of the lower end items that we knew were inexpensive enough with fans that are Forrest Fenn Chase fans that we could get it in their hands. It wasn't, we want the high end searchers to do, it was, I took it, this is my summary in my mind. When Forrest said, like, I think Forrest really loved the community for the most part. It seemed to me that Shiloh had that same affiliation or admiration. And so would the D.B. Cooper book have been passed on? No. Ben, I'll give you some stuff online that I don't want to get into of some of the context of the reason I was given that book. But I do think it seemed he could easily have said no if this was not an aspect he wanted. But there is some context that I'm not going to get into that I will definitely give to you, Ben.
You have context related to the non-answer.
No. To the reason why you were given the book. Right. Listen, Ben. Listen.
So why you were given the book? I'm sorry. I was conflating two thoughts. My bad. It's a lot at once.
Now
sorry.
The answer, but let me go on to the rest of.
Wait. Okay. Can I ask one more follow-up?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Now that I understand what the topic is, were you given a reason as to why you weren't given a reason by specifically Forrest Fenn?
Yeah.
Okay. I
It's
nailed that one.
It's not what you think. It's not a good thing. It's something I'd rather stay away from, but I
Yeah,
feel
exactly.
like
Yeah,
with
yeah,
some
yep,
context
yep,
that
yep.
that I
Fuck,
would
sorry.
just
Well,
comment.
either
That's
way,
okay.
either way, that was where my gut was taking
Yeah, it
me.
wasn't
Okay.
like look into this conspiracy. It was more stuff I'd rather just stay away from, and so that's where I just
don't know
want
what
to
that
give you.
means now, though.
Hey,
I'll
Ben,
tell you.
no, context.
No.
Context.
All
is
right,
key.
all right.
Keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Next, keep rolling. Keep rolling.
Yep.
Keep rolling.
So the
Let me
next
ask.
question that I
Next question.
asked right after that, well, and then he kind of looked at me, and I was to the left of him, Cynthia was to the right of him, and then Shannon was the furthest. And he turned like right after he said, God, how'd he say it? Well, when he said, DB Cooper has an interesting story. And then he like jabbed me and he goes, hey, I didn't answer that question, did I? Or did you notice I didn't answer that question? Like it was I need to make it so obvious. Elephant is in the darn room. Here it is.
Did he do that to any other question? Like,
none.
sorry,
He
sorry,
answered
actually,
every other question except for the first one when he said, ask any question. And I said, 9 Mile Hole. I thought I said Homa Brown, but both Shannon and Cynthia said, no, you said 9 Mile Hole. And he was like, stop, not 9 clues, not final location. And I said, fair. And so we asked questions that I didn't think he was going to answer. And he was answering. God, I wish I had a list beforehand. I was firing off everything. So then when I was getting to the end, it was like a good 20 questions in. I was like I was asking, have you moved into the main quarters? Are you still in the guest house? What business did I have asking that question? Where is your bed? Basically is where I asked him. And he was like, oh no, I moved into the main quarters. And Cynthia was like,
stop. Let's let everyone soak that in. You literally asked him where his final moment every single night is before he closes his pretty little Fenn eyes. You asked him where that location was precisely, and he told you precisely where his bed was.
No,
but
he did not. He did not tell me which room. He did not tell me which room.
Okay.
Let's not overinflate.
Okay.
I'm going to be Ashley. I'm not for president. I'm going to be VP. All I said was, did you move into the main house? And I said, and it's okay to not answer that because this is kind of private stuff. And he said,
good.
I moved into the main house. And then Cynthia, we started tag teaming. Cynthia said, well, Shannon hasn't seen the den. She calls it the office. I call it the den. Is there any chance? And he said, no. He did answer it, but he answered it definitely. And then this was like it was getting like, what other questions do you have? And that's when I asked the DB question. And then I said, because I thought of you two in my earlier chat, like the day before or whatever, I said, do you know of the HaHaHa book? And he said, no. What is that? What is that book about? And I said,
he asked you. He asked you.
And I said, it is about DB Cooper doing a treasure hunt for $200,000 with, I think I said 7 clues. I might not have said, but with clues, but I don't know if I said 7 or not.
Okay.
7 clues. This is as much depth as I had. And it's about a treasure hunt. And he said, no, I don't know that book, but it sure does sound interesting, or it really sounds interesting, or I might not get the exact words. He was like, it's interesting. And I turn and look at Cynthia and Shannon, and they think I'm from the planet Mars. Like, what are you talking about? Neither of them. Shannon said afterwards she knew a little bit because she watched, I think it was the show, Ben, that you had about DB Cooper. But Cynthia, she got nothing. She was like, why the heck did you ask those? And then after that question, I don't think I asked any other questions. I said, fair enough. You said you were giving us 10 minutes. We've been here over an hour. You pushed your dinner plans twice. And then we turned to their guest who was sitting there with us.
Right. Hold on, pause. We heard it when you were hiding in the back seat in the intercom. Yeah, sure. Not hiding. Okay, fine. Not with the intercom. Literally, he goes, Yeah, I got reservations in 30 minutes, but you guys can come on in. Okay, first off, right off the bat, can we just destroy something immediately? Shiloh, I love you. I would literally pay for you to have a reservation that I'm not even included on. I would just buy you dinner. You don't have reservations from 30 minutes from now.
He did.
And
at
home.
I will tell you, there were some other meetings that they said you only get 15 minutes and one drink because I have dinner reservations. And I'm just going to say maybe they stayed with us longer.
It seems like he stayed home.
No, not for Shiloh. When we came out of the garage and came back, he turned to his, I believe, girlfriend. We were introduced, but I think it was we were introduced by name, not relationship. He said, "Did you push the reservation? What time is it?" And she said, "Don't worry." It was almost like an eye roll, kind of like probably Forrest does.
Babe, how familiar does that sound? Hey, Ashley, did you push that reservation? Oh, you did? Good. Hey, Kate, Pro, Cynthia, and Shen, come on in Forrest's office. We'll talk now.
Right? No, I genuinely think he was telling the truth. He had a reservation, but I think he said, "Hey,
I think he was messing with you.
Did you push it?" She said, "Don't worry about it." We were
That's
only 10 more minutes.
That's messing with you. Saying that DB Cooper, not answering DB Cooper, not messing with you. That's messing with the Chase community, and he wouldn't do that. Telling you he has reservations and it's a very short, small amount of time, that is messing with you. Shiloh, I see your game, sir, and you have learned well from your grandfather.
Okay, but setting up, I did a lot of online dating.
Which is
let me drop some knowledge for you guys. After my divorce,
Tindering, babe.
Yeah, it's Bumble.
Is that where do warm waters halt at Tinder?
Yeah, they kind of do. The warm waters, they do. They get to Tinder and it's just a big old halt. But yourself and say like, I have plans. Can you hear me, or is my internet wonky?
It wonked for a second.
It might be mine because mine's going.
No. It wonked for a second. You're good.
This computer is like as old as my last pregnancy, so it's
it's as old as Fenn's original poem. But don't.
Uh-oh.
It literally just stops. It decides it doesn't want to be connected to Wi-Fi. It's like, don't touch me, Wi-Fi. I'm overtouched. I've been touched out.
I made such a good joke, and Ashley's just in the middle of a rant, but it was such a good joke. Anyway, keep going, babe. She's fucked. Babe, you're fucked. All right. We're telling all the kids to get off Wi-Fi right now, including myself.
Well, come upstairs
no more Wi-Fi.
Sit next to Ben. His is working.
No,
just come here. Take over the chair.
No, fuck you, Ben. You don't let me fucking talk when I sit next to you. So no, I'm on my own computer. I have my own square.
Oh.
Who really wants to see Ben's face and hear my voice?
No one. No one.
Everyone wants to see my face when I'm talking, so I will be on my own damn camera. That's right. That's what the people came here for. You see these earrings?
Who got rid of me?
Yeah.
It's all. I'm the cat.
Oh, hi. Okay. I don't even remember what I was saying, but I remember. You set up appointments, like when you want to go out with somebody, but you're not really sure. You're like,
yeah. Don't tell people this.
Oh,
they don't. I don't want people to understand my actual personality. Please don't tell people my actual personality. That was a rule we made.
I don't remember things because you get me high and then I can't remember what you say to me.
Ashley.
Hey, K-Pro, I have a question.
Okay.
Yep, just trying to derail everything that's happening here.
Ask me something. My name's Christy.
Christy. Did he really say ha-ha? Because I think you or Cynthia said that Shiloh said ha-ha in between the comment and the answer. Yeah. And I don't know if that's true. And again, I don't know if
I don't remember that piece. Like, I'm not trying, like, the room's like, you're contradicting yourself.
Of course.
We don't have a transcript. I'm just saying, like, it's not, I don't mean to contradict. Do I remember if the word was ha-ha, I didn't answer it, or I just didn't answer it. We didn't take a transcript. We don't need to legally record. We didn't. So I'm just giving the gist. I'm just giving
I saved this for right now, Alan. Shiloh used ha-ha in the case K-Pro Conspiracy Bridge show a few times in the chat.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know.
I was saving it,
HaHaHa.
and then Alan, you brought it up. Boom.
Well, damn, if you laugh out loud, then you are DB Cooper. I mean, apparently.
I have.
I'm being facetious, of course.
Where he goes, ha ha ha.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to be honest and fun and light.
I love it. Yeah.
A weekend of positivity, and I know people aren't in the same place as me. It's just been so fun. And when we came in, first of all, we didn't know we were going to get in at all. Then when I got to
how did you get in? I didn't get that from the video. How did you actually get in?
So, and somebody asked, why was I nervous? Because I've done conspiracy theories and I've had Shiloh in my chat room. So last time, about a month ago, when Shiloh and Cynthia were just hanging out at Hyde Park, and she showed the picture of them. He zoomed up on his motorcycle. It's such an awesome story. It's not mine to tell, but it's an awesome story. He said, I have your book. I need you to sign it. And Cynthia's like, oh, did you bring it? And he's like, no, I'm on my motorcycle. And so he's like, next time you're in town, come on by. So she emailed him when we were in town and said, let's see if I can get you guys an invite. He never responded to the text. So she said, we were just going by the gallery. She said, why don't we just go by the Fenn estate and we'll hit the buzzer. If he's not home, I mean, it won't hurt to ask. And it was
the
awesome.
Balls on you three. The balls.
Well,
ma'am.
I said, do you want to?
We're women. We can do what we want.
Oh my gosh. So I said, what about, okay, I'm going to put the chat room away because this is such an amazing story. I said, you know, I have done she's always been kind of team family, team Jack, team everybody. I was like, oh, okay. I have kids yelling. Sorry. Yeah. I can hear you guys. Okay.
Do you need to handle?
So can we?
Okay. So wait. Let me keep going, just because I'm right in the middle of the story. So Cynthia's like, I'm gonna drive up. I'm just gonna hit the button, see if he's there. If he's not there, we'll go. If he is there, we'll drive up. But you guys don't get out. I will go out, greet Shiloh, and I will tell him who's in the car. See if either of you are allowed in, or all of us are allowed in. So he said at the gate, like, I only have 30 minutes and then I'm kicking you out. So we drove up, and that's where we stopped because we wanted to be respectful and we wanted to see if we were allowed. We were not allowed to videotape once we were on the compound. So he was so gracious. He was like, hi, Shannon. I haven't ever met you. Oh, okay. And he shook her hand, and then he goes, oh, I know you. And I was like, hey, Shiloh. I've met Shiloh before. So I was like, I met him at Jamie Jordan. And he just looked at me, and he kind of did one of these, and I was like, oh. And so then when we got to the back, and he was so nice, but then when we came back around, so we went inside the house, we went inside the lab, then we went back through the garage, through the back gate in the pond where his friends were that were all going to be in. Oh, that would be awesome.
That would be.
So then we zoomed around, and that's when he said, okay, he was actually giving us a hug goodbye, and he hugged Cynthia, and then and Shannon said, I'm a hugger. He went to shake her hand, and she said, I'm a hugger. And then I looked at him and I said, do I get a hug? And he goes, actually, I would like to say something before I give you a hug. And it was like, oh, okay, hold on a second. And that's when actually Cynthia said, this is the time. And that's when he said, can we talk about the intervention? Can we talk about this? Can we talk about that?
Shit. Whoa. Stop. I don't know if I speak for everybody here, but you just said we were getting into the intervention. This is a hot topic on Reddit, in the Reddit private chat. I assume it's a hot topic everywhere else privately, but like, you're getting into a topic here that I would like to know more about. So I'd like you to go a little slower here because this is interesting.
Well, so he said something like, you know, you've done a lot of shows, or, you know, you covered topics that you and I might not agree on. Something like that. I'm not getting the words exactly right. I'm not trying to contradict
But he's saying this in 2021, and he's only appeared in your chat. What was that, like a year ago?
It was that night that we actually.
Okay, so it's been that long. So he's referring that night, right? Okay,
I believe so. That's my
guess. I just wanted to.
Cynthia, yeah. And I said,
I wanted to have that
and
clear for everybody.
I kind of froze up because he was so gracious with his time. So I kind of froze up, and Cynthia said, "But this is the time. Why don't you guys two come together and discuss it?" And he said, "Okay." And he hadn't brought anything up. He said the intervention. He's like, what happened there? And I discussed all my details, and he went, "Oh," he goes, "But an intervention would mean the family was against my grandpa. Our family has never been in anything but like in favor of or in support of or something like that." And I said, "Well, I didn't mean it like that. I just think you guys disagreed." He goes, "Oh, there was tension, but there was not." Intervention means like we were at odds or we were against.
Like drugs, rock bottom.
Right.
You're about to die. You're going to ruin everyone's life. You have to do this or we all walk away. That's intervention, right?
Right.
And then if I can give a counter idea instead, and K-Pro, correct me where I'm wrong here. This is where I would go. Instead, what I think happened is grandpa, dad, husband, whatever. I don't even think it was all at once. It's just whatever it was, is this really the best idea? Well, we've done this long. I'm not going to stop now. I got to keep going. How do we just quit now? We're 80%, whatever. We're 8 years in.
Well, no, I told him the specifics of what I knew. He was in the meeting. I told him the meeting that I knew. He asked me who I knew it from. I told him his grandfather directly. He seemed aware of that exchange. He would not have characterized that. This is my guess. He was aware.
Whoa. You got to stop again. K-Pro, you have been, and I might have been in the chat doing just what I'm about to say, but K-Pro, you were lambasted by people in the chat.
I need to come back in just a second. I'll be back in just a second.
I'm going to explain this to Alan. Alan's still with me. Ashley left. The chat's still with me. Guys, K-Pro was fucking destroyed for this. K-Pro was raked over the coals for even uttering the idea that family would have talked to Fenn. Whether you call that an intervention or not, it really seems like it wasn't. If I'm to go off K-Pro's words, I got to say it sounds like if you were part of the family and you hear the word intervention, you got to go, whoa. There's no intervention here. We are behind the general 100%. Granddad, grandpa, what I would call, what my daughter would call Poppy. I called him Grandpa Bob for me, whatever. Grandpa Forrest, whatever. Grandpa DB. You follow him till the ends of the earth. And it sounds like that's what the family did, no matter what rumor was spread about them. So if that's the case, you can follow your grandpa, Forrest Fenn, to the ends of the earth, but you can still disagree with some of the mechanisms and the machinations behind all of the whole thing, especially at the end. But you still follow him. You still don't undermine him. And it sounds to me like what K-Pro was saying is, Shiloh was trying to get it out to say, listen, no one fucking told Forrest what to do, man. No one told him.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to drop off. So we'll reconnect again, but I've got a situation I gotta handle.
Thank you, K-Pro.
K-Pro, I'm gonna call you later just to
reject.
We got a lot,
there's a lot of details that I didn't think were super minuscule was important, but I know it totally is. I'm
just
silly.
We'll talk later.
We'll circle back.
You're good.
Okay, bye.
All right. Okay, first I thought that maybe that might have been non-related to Fenn why she was leaving, but then she said that. Now I'm thinking it's related to Fenn why she's leaving. No.
It sounds like kids.
That's what I thought. Okay, anyway, let's drop it. I don't want to debate what's going on. What was I saying before that? Because I was really I was on a great track there.
You were saying that the family of Forrest Fenn are backing him no matter what. So regardless of conspiracy theories or rabbit holes or people hating or loving or whatever, his family backs him. And the reason why I remember that is because I'm in the same boat. So when people say that I am coming up with DP Cooper and I'm advocating him as a terrorist, that's so far beyond the truth. Like it's the complete opposite.
I agree. Can I address Tom real quick, guys? Ashley, did you have anything you wanted to say because you were away
No.
for a while?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Tom says, Ben, Jens Ezer's documentary is entitled Forever Chase because it focuses on folks who keep searching after the find was announced. As a writer on that project, aren't you vested in promoting the drama? No, I'm not. I have no interest in promoting the drama post-chase. If anything, I'm embarrassed by the drama post-chase. And that includes my participation in it. I want to be very clear here. I think the post-chase world has not been what we would want to offer up to the general population as a representation of ourselves. I think once this chest was quote unquote found, we all went into a weird tangential side universe that didn't really make much sense. Drama happened to people who would protest that they would never be a part of drama. I'm not questioning their character. I'm saying drama reached its ugly head into the shadows that we didn't expect it to. I think genuinely good people have been sucked into the vortex of nonsense because of this post-chase world. So my goal as a writer for Jens's documentary is to tell the story of Forrest Fenn. Tell the story of the man who thought it was audacious to put a treasure full of gold and jewels into the middle of the Rocky Mountains and dare the community being anybody who loved adventure, dare them to go find it and understand more about him. That's the story I want to tell. And that's the one I'm telling with Jens. All right.
And I like that. And I know Ashley just shut off. I'll agree with that 100%. And I think a lot of people have the problem with the DB Cooper rabbit hole because they assume, actually, they're correctly assuming that the only reason why we're going down this rabbit hole is because the chase ended. So it's like,
right.
The argument is that do you not have anything better to do? Do you not have anything better to do? The chase is over. The chase is over. The chase is over. In my mind, it's not over. And in my mind, this is way more fun than whatever you're doing. So if you're watching this video and saying those types of things, I'm having a better life than you are because my chase is not over. Yes, the Jack Stoof chase, I'm done with that. I could care less about any of that. 9 Mile Hole.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm actually bored with it. I'm bored with 9 Mile Hole. Guys, my solve on the Madison was that tree that I walked across the river to look at. That was my solve. And then I realized maybe it was Back to the Future and involved Riverside Drive, home of Brown. Aside from something like that, I'm bored to tears with the solve. And now I'm starting to think that was done by design. It wasn't about to solve as much as we made it about to solve. Everybody in the chase, all of you, let me be very clear. All of you preached. You understood what Forrest was, and you were right. You said he's holding something in his left hand, but the truth is happening in his right hand, except we don't see it. He's hiding it, whatever. That's what happened. It was what we thought it was. The treasure chest chase was the distraction. There was a truer story in the shadows. And all of that is fun, whether you found the chest or looked for the chest, or whether you understood or at least learned to maybe understand that there's a larger, deeper story out there. Either way, you have fun. That, to me, ends the debate of double omegas.
You can't ever end a debate, but I will say I agree with you. And I was just thinking, and I said this to Ben earlier, the fact that the poem's so vague and that you could have a million solves in a million different states. I know it was 4 states, but people were searching all the way to Canada. This poem was so vague, it could be applied to basically anywhere on the planet. Like I could throw a dart in Antarctica and probably find a home of brown. I mean,
I think every searcher on the planet would agree with what you just said. When they really take a second, if they have taken a moment to understand that maybe their solve was wrong, that they would hear the words of Alan Kay when he says, I could take a dart and throw it on the map and I'll find a home of brown. That is what Forrest Fenn meant by being an architect. The architecture of the poem is not the solve, it's the distraction. The architecture of the poem is not how to get from one clue to another, it's how to not get from one clue to another. And he made damn well certain that most of us wouldn't. That's what's genius about Forrest Fenn's poem. But at the same time, he gave us the carrot and he dangled it in front of all of us while there was a treasure chest below us. There's a treasure chest at our feet, and he was dangling a carrot in our eyeballs with a story that's hidden in the chest. Now, we hear from Shiloh that the story is basically what we already know. It's no big deal. It's okay. It's whatever. And then he says, I don't want to talk about the solve. Don't ask me about the 9 clues. Fuck off with that shit. Oh, where do I sleep? Yeah, I'll tell you where I sleep. I live in Forrest Fenn's home. Oh, DB Cooper? I can't answer that. Oh, hey, did you notice I couldn't answer DB Cooper? Keep going, K-Pro.
Sorry, I was on mute. That's strange. It really is strange to me.
Ashley, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're basically saying what we've been saying all night. It's just very curious, and I'm really excited about it. I'm excited that we have this to look into, and I'm excited that it still involves Fenn. So I'm just really interested to see where it goes. And I want to know if you think, do either of you think that we will hear more from Shiloh? That's my question to you.
That's a good question. I mean, I don't interact with them. Shiloh, if you're watching, reply to my email and I'll email you tomorrow. But no, I mean, I don't know.
Wrong, Tom. That's never been said. Whatever you're typing, Shiloh said it was a parody. That's you typing bullshit into the ether.
And let's be careful about saying things saying what people said when they didn't actually say them.
Yeah.
Because that's how we piss everybody off, you guys. And we just really shouldn't do that.
It's nonsense. Babe, what was your question? Does Shiloh know? Was your question?
My question was, are we going to hear from Shiloh?
Are we going
to hear from Shiloh?
Shiloh, am I going to hear from you? Are you coming back around? Are you validating? Yes. Like, what's happening?
Yes. I think we're going to hear from Shiloh again at some point. And I think Shiloh is taking the baton or the torch away from Jack. And I think he's being handed it from his grandfather all at once. And I think Shiloh himself hasn't known what to do with that. And I think we're finally reaching a point in our own timeline together as humans where we're at a juncture in time where Shiloh is finally going to start speaking as if he understands and knows the community.
Yeah. I hope so. And I mean, I hope that from Jack as well. That didn't really happen. I mean, it happened for a little bit. But the fact that K-Pro and Cynthia and Shannon met up with Shiloh and he answered any of their questions, that's promising. It's kind of like when Jack.
Jack's a little bit different for me, Alan, because Jack is just a finder. Yep. And Shiloh and other family members are connected to Forrest.
He's an insider. Yeah.
So I think that it makes more sense to not hear from Jack or a finder, and then to hear from family members after the fact. I just think I think they're just connected in a different way. It's personal for them.
I agree with that. And actually, I think it's more important. Like if K-Pro said, I just got an email from Jack, I don't think I would care. But when she said, we just met with Shiloh, that's a whole different that's a whole different conversation. And I didn't even know what she asked him about. And then I found out that she asked him about DB Cooper, and then like the answer, and then it's like, what? Like
I just think that that's the only question that wasn't answered, Alan. Come on.
It's weird. I know, but like, but then again, is it just Shiloh? Like maybe he saw a video or two and like is just prodding, and that's the one thing he's just having fun with, like, which is fine. Like, it's fair game.
And here's the thing: we don't know, right? Like we've all studied Forrest, right? We've studied him, but like we haven't studied Shiloh. We don't know how he is. Who maybe some people do. I obviously don't. Maybe K-Pro and Cynthia and well, Shannon met him for the first time, but even she knows more than I do. So maybe they have a different take on it, but I don't know.
Yep. I only know him from, the videos I've seen on YouTube, which is whatever, half an hour or something. But I appreciate his time, and I appreciate that he even gave them the time. But, K-Pro and Cynthia and Shannon are different people than me.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great that they go ahead. Please talk more.
Sorry, I'm just saying, like, I'm not even looking at the chat and I'm making noises. It's just more of, I hate when people get angry, like in the chat, and I'm not even looking at the chat. It's just get angry at the end of the chase, get angry that you didn't find it, get angry that, you lost out on something. But the reason why I'm still chasing is because it's more fun. It's more fun to keep chasing something. So maybe I'm wrong.
And it's always more fun to not be angry and mad and salty. It's just more fun to be excited and into it.
Yeah, it's the thrill of the chase. I mean, that's the whole point. And so some people will say in the chat, chase is over. Like, get over, stop talking. But no, I'm not done. Yeah.
Those people don't have to participate if they don't want to.
Yeah.
It's not like you guys are me and you're dating Ben Napple and you're forced to participate. You can move on with your life.
Yeah. But then that's where Shiloh could have said something and he didn't. Instead, he like prodded. He prodded it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's like, it doesn't bug me. It's like, I'm actually happy.
Hey, Alan.
He encouraged it.
Dang it, Shiloh.
Hey, Alan. Hey, Ashley.
Hey.
Ask me if I've heard of DB Cooper. Go ahead.
Ben's gonna put on a straight face.
Ben Napple, have you heard of DB Cooper?
Yeah, no, I have. It's a very interesting story, actually. Can you ask me if I've heard of HaHaHa, the book by DB Cooper now?
Okay, your turn, Alan.
Have you heard of the HaHaHa book by DB Cooper?
No, never heard of it. What the fuck are you talking about?
Is your grandfather DB Cooper?
Thank you. I can't answer that question.
Yeah. It's kind of accurate. I mean, I know you're a little dramatic, but
guys, it's not rocket science. You can say, "Oh, he's just messing," because you want to say that because you didn't ever agree with the idea that he could ever be affiliated with DB Cooper.
And
no, Alan, I'm going to shut you up. Ashley, I'm going to shut you up too. You at home, you knew it. You knew it in your soul and your brain. You could never, ever be associated with DB Cooper. So if his grandson refuses to answer the question, you just go, he's joking. I know. It makes you feel better. Sorry, Alan.
No, I was going to say, like, Shiloh is not the joking type. He's not the type that's going to prod, and he's a man of, I mean, as far as the community is concerned, he doesn't jump in and say things that aren't accurate. He doesn't jump in and like prod the community for like.
No, he jumps in to say no.
Exactly.
Remember in K-Pro's chat, he said
there's no
intervention. And now, after the fact, a year later, she meets with him and he fucking says again, there's no intervention, K-Pro. And K-Pro finally is like, all right, fine.
Great.
You're
Done.
right. I'm wrong. There's no intervention. Did you not see what I said in chat?
Yep.
Shit. That means we must be wrong about the nudge gate.
Sure.
I said it. We were wrong about nudge gate.
Yep.
And what we can take from this is when something was wrong in Shiloh's mind, he came in to set the record straight.
Yep.
Right.
That is what we know. Again, I said we don't know much about Shiloh. We've only studied Fenn for most of us. So what we know now is when something is wrong, Shiloh comes in to set the record straight. Okay, well, K-Pro and Cynthia and them asked a bunch of questions, and he didn't set the record straight on that. That should tell us something.
He was given
Right?
an opportunity to
Hey.
set the record straight, and then
That's the key.
pointed out that he didn't set the record
straight. Exactly. That's the key. And again, Shiloh, if you're just trolling, cheers, man.
Just say so. No, Shiloh. Oh boy, hold on.
I'm
Hold
so
on.
scared right now.
Ben's got a
Shiloh.
different vibe
Water.
than me.
Ellen, what? I'm scared.
Shiloh, sit down.
Oh my good Lord Almighty.
Is that a Coors Light or a Dasani?
That is water. Thank the Lord.
Dasani Light? Okay.
You guys been with grocery shopping for me today. Aren't we so proud? Everybody give him
nice.
a round of applause.
Did he Instacart it though?
No, he really
No, I
went to
went
the
there.
physical store. I
I
gave
went-
him
I
a written
went to the
list.
Holy
A
smokes.
list.
Alan,
He
do you
did.
know what happened to me at the store?
Your
I
cast
bought-
must be sore.
I got the beer, the Coors Light, in favor of Fenn, and then I go to the self checkout, and here's what happened.
No.
I immediately I scan like 6 items, the big ones, and then I put the beer on to scan. I don't even look at the machine. I immediately get out my ID and walk over to the dude who's just chilling by the computer, and then he looks at me, who saw me walk in with the Coors Light, and goes, "We can't do beer sales here."
Not the self-service check line.
They never do, baby.
Babe, I have since 2010 have been purchasing beer in the self-service checkout line. All they do is they do a little siren on top of your checkout, and then the little girl who's younger than you comes up and says, "Can I see your ID, please?" And you give her your ID. That's what happens.
Sometimes that happens, but yes, it does say in the gigantic sign, no alcohol, maybe no cash.
You can't ever buy alcohol there. I've tried multiple. I've tried with one
Listen,
bottle
I
of
was
wine.
I was very angry. That's all.
So what did you do? How did you actually get it? Did you have to get in the regular line?
He just ran, probably.
No, I literally ran.
Are you freaking kidding me?
I went to the fucking 15 items or less line after that.
All right.
What was I saying before this?
We were just talking about Shiloh.
I was giving a message to Shiloh. What was my message? Oh shit! What was the point?
We were very scared. I don't know what your point was. We were all scared. I was scared of what your message was.
I remember.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Shiloh.
Are you chasing up water with a water?
He's weird, man. He's so weird.
Warm waters halt, my friend. Where warm waters halt. Shiloh.
Good Lord.
Shiloh, pretend this is a Raleigh. You don't have to pretend that I'm not inhaling. You know I'm not.
I'm going to turn 37.
Shiloh, if your father, as in your grandfather, well, no, sorry. If your mother's father was D.B. Cooper, then you should do exactly what you're doing. If your mother's father wasn't D.B. Cooper, you need to say so right now.
I'm pretty sure Shiloh's going to give you a response.
I don't mean right now, babe.
I think
I
you just
right
got one thumbs down, and that was Shiloh.
That's it. I need you to say, my grandfather was not Forrest Fenn. Because if you don't say it.
Ryan says, what if Skippy was D.B. Cooper? What should Shiloh say then?
Good question. Good question. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Ryan. Hold on. Let me put it up there. Shiloh. Let me rephrase. If your father, the wife's father, see what I did there? if your granddad was related to the DB Cooper hijacking, you need to keep doing what you're doing. If your granddad, Forrest Fenn, was not related to the DB Cooper hijacking, which would include Skippy being DB Cooper, then you need to say so right now.
Okay, and also imagine Shiloh not ever watching this, and then you thinking that him not seeing this and not doing anything is actually an answer.
Babe,
you're not caring.
Alan and Ashley, you're not thinking fourth dimensionally.
Hey, fourth dimensionally, if Shiloh came in a chat right now and said, my grandfather was not DB Cooper, all I would think is, your grandfather's DB Cooper.
So really, anything we said, honestly.
No, I'd stop. I would stop. If Shiloh came into chat right now and said, "You're right, Ben, I should just end this now. My grandfather was not DB Cooper, and he was not related to DB Cooper. The DB Cooper story has nothing to do with the thrill of the chase."
Yeah,
then I will stop it. I will spearhead the campaign.
That's a long sentence.
To stop it.
That's a long sentence, because then you have Ram Bavetta that'd be like, what about Skippy?
Alan, I will literally go to your home and while you sleep, and I will sew your mouth shut. if Shiloh will tell me that DB Cooper is not related to the fucking thrill of the chase, I will sew your mouth shut.
Hey, Alan,
my book.
Shut up, Ben. Alan, I'm going to tell you something right now. That will never happen because Ben is afraid of needles. So don't worry.
Have you ever sewed anything, Ben? Have you ever sewed anything?
No. Negatory.
Never. No. Negatory istimistic espialidocious.
You probably sew like my bottom lip to my elbow accidentally. Like
I'd begin it where warm waters halt, but I would end up somewhere in the canyon down, and that doesn't make sense.
That's getting into human caterpillar.
Forrest would have loved that joke, and I think Shiloh would have as well. Shiloh, again, if your grandfather is not DB Cooper or related to the DB Cooper HaHaHa story, please, for the love of Christ,
press 1.
This.
Oh. Please, for me, for nothing else but for me, because you know what? I think that if that were to actually happen, then you wouldn't stop. So I almost want it to happen so I can prove myself right.
Shiloh, I have 5 children. Please, for the love of all that is holy, from the blue moons of hell and damnation itself, if Forrest Fenn is not related to DB Cooper, fucking say something.
Hey Ben, that's not gonna happen. You know why? Because there's 300,000 searchers that want to know where the solve was, and that's not happening either. So,
but you know what,
peasants.
You know what, Alan? Yeah. Shiloh said he wouldn't talk about that, the solve, and all the 300,000 searchers' idea of where the solve was. And you know what else he didn't talk about? DB fucking Cooper. He could have talked about Fox Mulder and Dana Scully from the X-Files. He could have talked about Robert Stack and, UFO fucking episodes from Unsolved Mysteries. But no, he couldn't talk about DB Cooper of all fucking things. And by the way, Alan, what was the P.O. box at West Yellowstone?
687.
687? Are you sure? No. I want you to be very sure when you say that.
Oh, I'm 100% sure.
What was the P.O. box belonging to the dude in West Yellowstone owned by Forrest Fenn and DB Cooper that's missing an electronic D?
P.O. box 687 West Montana. I don't know the zip code.
Okay. Your big score. To locate and retrieve your $200,000 capitalized big score, you need only follow the clues and pick up the certificate. You may, if you wish, simply mail your capitalized big score location to the capitalized publisher, Signum Books Limited, which means ring the bell. Signum means ring the bell. At P.O. Box 687, Jefferson, Oregon. The earliest postmark response with the correct location will be titled to and receive the gift according to the terms prescribed herein. However, should someone physically pick up and possess the certificate prior to the capitalized publishers diligently retrieving it for you, the person who legally possesses the certificate will receive the big score. Sorry, when you write, I can't even tell you how close you are! Exclamation point. He asks you, Alan and Ashley, to mail your solution to P.O. Box 687, which matches the P.O. Box 687 at the dude. And then when you do mail that, he will tell you, sorry, I can't even tell you how close you are.
What are the chances of that being coincidence, that number 687?
It's not. I mean, and if he would have had email addresses back in '83, he would have put his email address in there, probably, just like Forrest Fenn at earthlink.com. It's just too early.
Oh, you mean the person who wrote a treasure hunting book and then allowed everybody involved in that treasure hunting book to get a hold of him? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, self-publish. Yeah, of course, you can do whatever you want if you're a self-publisher.
With foiled embroidery. Is that what you're saying? The same as HaHaHa?
It's foil stamping.
Foil stamping.
It's very expensive. It's actually very expensive to do that.
Okay.
And it's you only do that when what I've read is that you only put foil stamping when you want your book to stand out to increase sales. Otherwise, there's no point in foil stamping a cover.
I just think it looks pretty.
It does, but that's the point. That's exactly the point.
Again, guys, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this. So we have Dan Cooper, and of course, Dan Cooper. I mean Forrest Fenn.
Packer Jack, by the way, freaking awesome. Never seen that before in my life.
Oh shit! I already forgot what I was going to do.
Foil stamping? Yeah, you're on foil stamping. Or
I already forgot what I was going to do.
Yeah.
It's fine. So whatever. This is what alcohol and 4 concussions in 5 years does.
Yeah. That's what foil stamping does to a human.
Fuck! I had an idea before this. God dang it.
See, Packer Jack just throws you off with that brilliant overlay.
But Alan, this is why I interrupt people all the time, because if I don't say it, I legitimately will forget it.
Yeah.
Like legitimately will forget it. I'll remember it 12 years from now.
I have to do first aid. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
But Ben, if I don't interrupt you, you'll just keep talking. So,
and no one wants that.
The sword cuts both ways.
Double-edged, as it were.
Yeah, but
Shit, I really wanted to know what the fuck I was going to. Like,
you were talking about the foil stamping. You're talking about Thrill of the Chase versus HaHaHa. Like, you were definitely going down that trajectory.
Yeah. Fuck. What the hell?
Had to do with HaHaHa. You started with HaHaHa. You started with the publisher.
We got the Signum Books, the publisher, the Thrill of the Chase, which is in HaHaHa.
I feel like you were going to show pictures or something.
We were talking about P.O. Box 687. Sorry, when you write, I can't even tell you how close you are.
Yep. Then P.O. Box 687 in West Yellowstone.
I don't know. Maybe I was going to show the P.O. Box 687 in West Yellowstone, which I guess I will, but that can't be what it was.
And probably most people, I don't even know what's going on here, but
God bless it. It doesn't matter. The point is, we need Shiloh to put an end to this.
Okay, listen. No, we don't. Let's not put it all on Shiloh. Let's remember that this is not Shiloh's job. Okay, this is we're doing our own thing. But yes, if we're so far off base and he wants to come in and say, "Hey, you guys, you're like totally wrong," I think that's awesome, and I'm excited for that because then we'd have more direction. But I really think that it's up to us. I think there's information out there. I think we're all really smart. I think as a community, we're super smart. And I know that many of you think this is like bonkers and wonky. But even if you think it's bonkers and wonky, like, give me the information why you're saying we're completely crazy. That will help. And the one thing I've watched with this community in particular, I joke all of the time about how, like, I didn't want to be a part of this community and I think it's BS and I was forced. But in all seriousness and honesty, you guys, this is a great community. And I'm glad to be a part of it. I feel privileged to be a part of it. You guys are super smart and you find crazy information. I honestly want all of you here every night, like when I'm helping my kids with homework, because I feel like you guys would do a better job because you're so smart. So let's figure it out and let's find the information.
Yep. Cheers to that, by the way.
F yeah.
It's the last of mine.
Okay, so what is next, Alan and Ben? I can tell you guys that I'm working on the DB Cooper enthused side on my own spare time, just trying to find other people that are maybe like-minded that have some information that is different. So what's next for us with this DB Cooper thing?
Well, it's funny you asked that because Minotaur Moreno has some extremely interesting stuff that have to do with the TV show The Wire, but I've never seen a single episode.
Okay, can I speak freely?
Yeah, please.
The Wire is one of the most overrated shows in the history of television.
That's fine. That's not even what he's talking about, though.
Okay.
He's saying...
What are we talking about then?
There are quotes from Forrest Fenn throughout The Wire, and he was just showing, like, he sent me like 3 or 4 episodes, and there's certain quotes that are like dead on. But then, in my mind, that almost argues that it's just a writing style. But The Wire is so new that whatever. And so Minotaur asked, like, hey, tell them about the Wire and the Fenn quotes. I would have to show them every single clip and then every single, quote. I don't have that readily available right now. I guess my point is that someone like Minotaur Moreno.
Alan.
What?
I said, Alan, get it ready. Jeez.
Well, I probably could pull it up, but
I'm just kidding.
even then.
I'm just kidding. Okay,
But
that's
more
what
of
you're saying, though. Information.
Yeah, what you were just saying is like even a Minotaur Moreno who's like the most logical person out there. He's like, hey, did you know this exists out there that might give you a hint? Like, I love that kind of stuff. That it's not that, oh, you're an idiot for thinking that way. It's just like, hey, did you know this might support your theory? Like, that's
and if you
more
think
positive.
I'm an idiot, if you think I'm an idiot for thinking that way, that's fine. But like, show me why I am.
Yep.
Right? Like, give me the information and the evidence as to why we're idiots. I would love to see it.
Yep.
If you're telling me that I could spend my evenings watching Dexter instead of listening to DB Cooper documentaries, dude, I'm here for it. So like prove it.
Yeah,
I don't
I actually
think
prefer DB Cooper
anybody
documentaries over Dexter.
Hey, Alan, shut your fucking mouth, Alan.
I prefer DB Cooper documentaries over everything except for watching you guys.
Golden, maybe Shiloh played it off because he didn't think it was likely and not worth discussing.
Well, then dismiss it.
Then just dismiss it. Just say no.
Super easy.
That's crazy.
Done.
Right.
Done. Shiloh understands the community. And again, the context that K-Pro even gave in this was Shiloh was well aware that maybe K-Pro could possibly be on the brink of saying anything that was happening. Didn't it seem like that was what was going on? Like she was talking about how no one could have phones, no one could be recording. It looked like she was hiding in the back seat. My point is not specifically K-Pro. K-Pro was in the room. Obviously, she heard what she needed to hear. But my point is there was a lot of precautions taken. It seems as if with all the precautions taken and then saying I'll answer anything but the 9 clues or the location, after that's adhered to, after 30 questions, and then you go, is he DB Cooper? You would think, guys, again, if you've been in a conversation with another human being, you would understand this. After 30 questions, he goes, I can't answer that one. Hey, did you notice of all the things we talked about, I couldn't answer that one? Okay. And you're saying he's fucking with them?
He also knows that K-Pro has a very popular YouTube channel.
Right.
So he knows that this is all going to come out to the community. It's why I believe he talked to this group of ladies from the community, knowing that it would all get back to us. That was the purpose. That was the point. So let's take that. If you believe that the purpose and the point was to get all this information back to the community, then you would also have to then believe the purpose and point of not answering that DB Cooper question and leaving it so open-ended was to get back to the community. Am I right?
Bingo.
100% agree. And that's where,
bingo.
And maybe I'm late in the chat, but Davio said, Shiloh was smart with the girls, playful. 100% agree, Davio. But the challenge here is that Shiloh's trying to put to bed conspiracies and like anything that's going to bring harm or anything negative towards the estate or anything Chase related. So why not just put to bed the DB Cooper thing? Like, why not just say, play with them, but then say, yeah, that's just a joke, like it was fun for a bit, but no, that didn't happen. Exactly. Didn't happen.
Hey, Tom, Ben, you're writing for Jens. I'd rather write The Wire. Now, again, The Wire is very overrated, and I stand behind that. Tom, you misspelled your.
That was the number one thing why I would swipe no on any guy on Bumble. If you couldn't use your correctly or their correctly, adios.
Be gone. Maybe Shiloh was trying to drum up more bids on future FF artifact sales.
100%
That's morbid. That's pretty
100%
morbid.
no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I don't want to hear that ever again. He's honestly doing all of us a favor by listing that stuff at such a cheap price so everybody can have something.
Yes.
So please, I don't ever want to hear anything like that ever again. I'm not even
Can you
related
imagine?
to them.
Ashley.
What? I'm offended. This is me.
I'm offended that the Fenn estate would dare list items that went well below face value. I'm just offended by that. I'm offended that they would dare even sell anything so that we could even maybe own an Arrowhead. No. How dare they? Let's reverse this. Let's change the timeline. They don't sell a fucking thing. How dare they not sell anything from the Fenn estate? How dare they keep it all from us?
Listen, we have enough people in this community to be on each sides of the fence at any given moment, and that's okay. Because again, that really speaks to what I love about the community, and it has to be this way. You have to have people that see both sides and argue back and forth and bring different point of views. You really need that. So we need everybody in here. Even when I say to you, I'm offended, don't ever say that again. We honestly need you because we need that stuff even to have the reaction that we're having to figure this shit out. So everybody's all good and we're going to figure it out. I'm so excited, you guys. Really.
And we're all
you know how excited I am, Alan, that this is something that I actually can try to figure out as opposed to someone telling me, hi, do you want to try to figure out this treasure hunt for a treasure that was already found? Doesn't that sound super exciting?
No, that's
it
why
fucking does not.
No, like the documentaries that are happening, like what? Okay. Yeah. Not interested. I don't even know what's happening. Makes no sense.
But this I'm excited about.
I'm gonna have missed it.
And Davio asks a question. Davio asks a great question for folks who just aren't familiar with HaHaHa. What is the compelling part of HaHaHa to Forrest Fenn? There's a lot. That's why we're taking a breath here. It's just, which part do you want to even start with? Do we start? What?
Yeah, like, are you okay? Are you really going to do this at 10:40 at night and start over at the
No,
point?
no, I'm not. Just
to go to bed.
Can you let me finish my train of thought, please?
Yeah.
Do we start with the whole? Fuck, I forgot my point.
You start at the beginning.
What? Yeah. Why is HaHaHa? What's the compelling evidence in HaHaHa?
Do we start with the fact that in this treasure hunting book? And again, I invite all of you to find more treasure hunting books that contain this. Do we start with the fact that this treasure hunting book contains the phrase, "I did it for the thrill of the chase. I got lost in the thrill of the chase"? To me, it seems the most innocuous, yet it's the most convincing. Now, do I have to bring up the idea that in that same book where he says, "I did it for the thrill of the chase," he he writes that you send your solve to P.O. Box 687? I have a hard time thinking that's a coincidence. Do I try to figure out that the D.B. Cooper character was an aficionado of parachuting and flight logs and aviation just to a T? Do I find it a coincidence that D.B. Cooper jumped off that plane wearing hush puppies when we have Forrest Fenn talking about wearing hush puppies all the time? A chapter in our fucking treasure hunting book? I just don't know where to start, Alan. Where do I start, Ashley?
I don't think there's any place where you start. Alan he's made great presentations. I think maybe if I give it a little bit of thought, maybe I can come up with a way that we can, organize and we can have a couple of shows. I mean, I don't know. Let's just organize.
I think that's the problem. And sorry to interrupt, Ashley. I think that's the problem is that the people that don't have the book and maybe don't even care to read the book don't care. And Davio's not one to not care. I know that for sure. And Davio cares. I'm watching you.
Davio wants the answers.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Davio, and you know me, and I know that your Cody interview is one of my favorite interviews ever, and I've literally watched it 100 times. I have Forrest Fenn burned into my brain. I know everything he says. I know the way he writes, the way he types, the way he speaks, even the way his handwriting is now at this point. And I'm telling you that this book is fishy, very fishy. And so, Davio, I'm not telling you that he wrote it. But it's like the same way that how do you trust yourself putting a rope into a bolt and then propelling down 100 feet? You just trust it. You trust your gut.
Can I answer something real quick? Lucky Digger. Yeah. D.B. Cooper was wearing penny loafers.
Yeah.
Lucky Digger. That's the same thing as hush puppies.
Lucky Digger loves doing that, though.
Right, but that's the same fucking thing.
And Lucky Digger's here.
If I walked into Nordstrom's tomorrow and I said, "Can I have some penny loafers?" and then I walk into Nordstrom's the next day and say, "Can I have some hush puppies?" they're going to give me the same fucking shoe. "Oh, I always seem to be in trouble without my shoes. I don't understand why I keep talking about them hush puppies." You all fell for such a con. It's ridiculous. Anyway, sorry. Yes, penny loafers are hush puppies. Do you want me to here? Let me just do a quick thing. Just because I like Lucky Digger, I'm fine. Penny loafers and hush puppies. Hush puppies, penny loafer. It's the same thing.
No, because Lucky Digger told me that I'm too young to understand terminology. So,
I
Lucky
love when people
Digger-
tell me I'm too young for something. Can Lucky Digger tell me I'm too young for something? That'd be fantastic.
The official.
I'm so young. I have 4 kids, and I'm 42 years old. So young.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I have 5 kids. Yeah, tell me I'm too young. The official. What was it? The Hush Puppy site. What was it?
This
Where'd
is
this go?
ridiculous. Ben Napple, this is silly. I have to get up at 5:30 in the morning. I'm not staying up to Google Hush Puppies and Penny Loafers, although I love you with my entire heart and soul. Please,
It's
that's
just
5:30
nonsensical.
a.m.
Again,
no, stop.
let's get back to the main point, and we're gonna cut this off right now. Why do I think DB Cooper could be related to Forrest Fenn? Because I read HaHaHa. If you haven't read HaHaHa, then you can't talk. It's that simple. It's that sad.
Well, you can't argue.
No,
you can't
Alan,
argue.
could you talk or argue about Forrest Fenn if you didn't read The Thrill of the Chase?
Well, that's where we started 3.5 hours ago, and I would say
Exactly.
yes.
No,
So-
you can't. But again, I'm back to it. You can't. If I just gave you a poem, you'll never find that fucking.
Of course
sweet.
not. Of course not. No. Yeah. No way.
It's unfortunate. People don't like that. And if people want to make a difference between Hush Puppies and Penny Loafers, if that's where the naysayers are at, that they have to distinguish between the suede in a shoe, then that's how far gone you are. You've already lost.
Well,
I wouldn't say that. I honestly wouldn't say that, because if there, listen, some of your stuff I find coincidental, and that doesn't make me an idiot. I just have a different opinion than you. I think this.
I'm not saying that makes you an idiot.
Okay, but I'm saying if you're saying like, oh, if you're saying about Hush Puppies and Penny Loafers, blah blah blah. Listen, they don't have to believe that. They can believe that those are 2 separate things, and they can believe that that is not connected whatsoever, and that's a coincidence. Just like I believe that this photo that you're showing right now, a coincidence. This is no smoking gun for me. This is how you get into a plane. How else are you supposed to get in but with one foot after the other? Just my opinion. Just my opinion. So let's
I
let
agree,
everyone have
but I
their
do like
opinion.
it.
Sure.
I like it too.
Forrest Fenn chose that photo to put in his treasure hunting book.
That is also very true.
Yeah.
What say you to that?
Are you
I don't know,
100% positive that this was placed there specifically because it relates to this Dan Cooper photo? Where is your evidence of that? What say you to that?
I am 100% positive. It
Okay,
does relate to
tell me.
that because I'm 100% positive it's related to DB Cooper.
How?
Because Shiloh Old, grandson of Forrest Fenn, had a chance to destroy this entire topic.
Okay.
Well,
So
he's
because-
trying
okay.
to. No, don't you dare. No, don't interrupt on that one.
You interrupt me
You
all
yell at
the
me.
time.
You yell at me for interrupting you all the fucking time.
I'm going on
This
mute.
is the only way I've been able to talk tonight is by interrupting you. Ask the chat. No worries. I'll do something else tomorrow. Don't worry about it.
Shiloh Old, grandson of Forrest Fenn, was given the opportunity to destroy and end the DB Cooper conspiracy brought forth by his own grandfather.
Okay.
And he chose to remain silent.
Okay, so because Shiloh chose to remain silent, that means that these photos that you see are real. And the connection to the P.O. box, real. And every other connection, real. And Hush Puppies and Penny Loafers, real. All because
Correct.
Shiloh didn't answer a fucking question. Dude, you're
Yes.
wasty pants. Wasty pants.
Okay.
That
I
doesn't
disagree.
mean
I
that
disagree
does
with
not-
you.
That is not concrete evidence saying that these pictures are related because Shiloh didn't answer K-Pro's question. Are you like, I will fight you on this. And here's the thing. I fucking agree with you. I'm on board with this. I think he's DB Cooper. I just don't think you can say that, Ben.
I can.
You sound like everybody else.
Okay. Silence speaks volumes. The silence is deafening. If you can't hear it, that's on you.
I'm just glad I'm not Unlucky Digger right now.
You want to call me out? I'll call you out. That silence is on you.
Oh, you're going to see some silence tonight, and then you can.
Okay.
Hey, this is not where I wanted TV Cooper to go. It's opposite.
No, it's all fun, you guys.
I know.
But again, we're allowed to disagree. We're allowed to debate. That's how Ashley and I reach conclusions when we reach a conclusion together. We'll debate it out.
Yep.
That's what should happen. You should have someone who will question your thoughts so you can understand if your thoughts are accurate. So if you don't have someone like that, then you're probably out of luck. So I consider myself lucky.
A way to turn that around so that you don't get the silent treatment tonight, Boo. So well done. That's why I'm with you, babe. That's well done. I'm ready to go to bed now. I love you too.
Right, I'm ready too.
Right.
I think we're good here, Alan. What do you think?
Yeah, I can't pull up any more pictures of
Alan
planes.
doesn't want to be involved in arguments anymore. Alan's like, get me the fuck off this stream right now.
No, I'm all right. I appreciate you guys. And I appreciate everyone in the chat too, even the naysayers. Like, it's fun.
It's fun.
So, whatever.
It's back to having fun. And again, the only argument I think that's been thrown in the trash is how dare you with the family. The family had a chance to end it this weekend and didn't. So it's not on me. So don't say how dare you anymore. The rest of it, sure, up for debate.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
All right, folks. I appreciate all y'all.
I'm going to go suck up to Ashley. She's muted. You're muted, babe.
Alan, take care of your mosquitoes, man.
Are they still there? Jeez.
No, but I'm just teasing you.
All right. Cheers.
This is a great show. Thank you guys, everybody. Thank you, Alan, for coming on. Thanks, Ben, for hosting.
All right.
Peace and love, folks. Take the chest and go in peace. Richard Nixon.
Oh, good Lord, help me.